Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in tonight to the first round of the BOL IBS playoffs. I am Pickle, once again joined by the Bully. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm pretty good. And we finally got some playoff action for IBS, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, we are into action tonight. Rev Armada, the 4 seed, taking on the 5 seed of Mystic Cats Red. These teams faced off, I believe, back in week 1 with Rev Armada taking the 2-0, but both teams have steadily improved ever since then, and we are already ready to draft. Rev Armada has selected blue side for game number 1, and they are banning out the Zareth, Dr. Mundo, and Ezreal as Mystic Cats taking away the Lux and Zeri, still focusing on their final ban. Now, something to note for Mystic Cats, I don't know if this will be their roster all of tonight, but they are making a few substitutions. Their normal support, Sword of Destiny, is currently filling in jungle as Pedestrian is not here, and literally Nate is also not in action currently. So Klugschreiber will be substituting down to the mid lane as O Greg Boy is filling in topside. And Armada starting this off with the J4 for TD.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of interesting. J4 pick is very solid. It's a good B1 pick. We see it a lot nowadays. If it's not J4, it's Jinx. So if it's not Jinx, it's like another broken, uncounterable B1 pick. But just going off the subs, it's gonna be an interesting game one, especially because I don't know how much practice they've together in those roles. So I feel like they're still strong players. They can still take, um, you know, get a win here, but it's gonna take a lot to make sure they're on the same page. While Rev has been running this roster for the entire season.
Rev's sticking with their standard lineup. Mystic Cats pick up the Viego and Jinx. So Sword of Destiny gets his hands on that Viego, and Jinx now heading down to Howard as that hyper carry, while Veigar is picked up for Wingman and Rakan locked in for Bachelor on the side of Armada. So you already have some pretty solid engage there from the side of Armada
Yeah,
with this J4 and Rakan duo. And now Nautilus going to his namesake, No Not November on this support Nautilus.
yeah. That's gonna be a interesting one. When you have a champion's name in your name, you know they're probably pretty decent at it. Nico's gonna get banned here, and while Tom Kench also gets banned. Tom Kench, I think we saw uh, Denobi just go absolutely crazy on that champion a few weeks ago. So MCR probably remembers, and they don't want to face against that.
Denobi has some really solid Tom Kench performances. Armada, of course, not in action last week due to the FF of Nameless, but before that, they became the first team to take down the undefeated CB Queensguard, the first seed. Were sitting undefeated before Armada faced off against them. So Armada coming in pretty hot as they now Mystic Cats, with the ban phase done, pick up the Ziggs, likely going to be heading to Klug in that mid lane.
Ziggs is really good, especially against a comp that can engage. Unfortunately, there is a J4 on the other side and Rakan. So you need to make sure you keep a solid distance here because without flash or without your satchel charge, and if you somehow mess up, you're going to be blown up before you even get an ability off. And at the bot lane, they're going to go with that Lucian Rakan, so they're going to go heavily aggressive against this Jinx Nautilus lane.
Yep, some of you mentioned really aggressive with that Lucian, but it is a bit on the shorter range potential, so could be punished later with that range of the Jinx rockets, with the range of the Ziggs bombs. But of course, Wingman on that Veigar going to be a bit of an X factor, as now we're just waiting to see what Denobi going to bring to the table. You have to imagine probably a bit more tank, as there is even more engage potential with Horn front. That's about as standard engage as you can get from the side of Armada.
That is a lot of tankiness, and maybe I'm saying maybe not a lot of damage. Yeah, J4 Lucian will put out a lot. Veigar will need to scale a little bit, but they have a ton of CC. So if they're able to lock down the Ziggs, um, their team fight should be pretty easy. But on the flip side, that Malphite pick I think is actually pretty important because you catch a Flash's Veigar out. That's very easy to combo with the Viego in the backline. Just go in with the Ziggs Super Mega, not Super Mega Death Rocket, but there is a Jinx on the other team. So with both those ultimates, they could easily one shot the Veigar or even the Lucian if the Lucian gets caught out. So giving a lot more pick potential against a team that also wants to mainly team fight.
Definitely is. With that unstoppable force, you're going to be looking to pick off either of those low range carries. Of course, Lucian has a bit more flexibility with the relentless pursuit to potentially dodge out of the way, but that's kind of asking for a lot. So you're mainly going to be looking at those two low range carries to blow them up in that combo. You got a lot of damage over the top from the Super Mega Death Rocket, from the Mega Inferno Bomb, and Viego Heartbreaker to just finish it all off, as well as some good CC comboing with that Nautilus. But you talk about CC, and that's what Armada is bringing to the table. If your name is not Madness on Lucian, you have some form of very strong engage. You have the Flag Drag Cataclysm of Jarvan. You have the Event Horizon of Vagar. You have the Grand Entrance with the quickness of Rakan, and you have the full-on engage, a Call of the Forge God with any knockup off the Searing Charge.
Yeah, I want to know how No Not November plays this game. Um, when your ADC is a Jinx, and on the flip side, there's a Rakan Lucian, if both supports roam out of lane early, you know the advantage will go to the Lucian. Because Lucian can easily go super aggressive on you whenever the Lucian wants. And then on the flip side, you see a lot of Nautilus looking for those roams, looking for the plays topside mid, um, Herald. That could leave the Jinx very vulnerable to any kind of engage dive, and we saw that last time against Excel when he was playing Jinx. I believe it was against. Was that against? It was against Rev.
Yes,
So
it
they're gonna
was
try to do
against
the
Red.
same thing.
Yeah, we'll have to see exactly what that ends up bringing to the table. I gotta ask you, both these drafts locked in. Who are you favoring? Personally, I like a bit of what Rev has going. It's stock standard with 3 engage, with the AP threat and AD threat, but stock standard works.
Yeah, if you have a ton of CC, a lot of CC will help you. Um, the team fight's very easy to manage, right? If you're the drive and if you're the Or and you're for the Rakan, you have 1 or 2 targets. That's the Jinx and Ziggs. But on the flip side, if you're Miss Cats, you have a lot of crap to dodge, and you know there's a lot of damage. There's gonna be a lot of pressure on Jinx, on Ziggs, and they're not in um, the best position with playing with a bunch of subs, but they're also in a position where if they're able to stall the laning phase out to the point where it's even, their poke and their siege is in damage is just gonna go crazy.
Absolutely can. Just so hard to shut down once they get rolling. And just to give everybody an update, this is our first game of the night going on today. Off stream, we do have a second game going on. The 3 seed TD Daggers taking on Ape Gaming Teal, the 6 seed, going on as well. Currently, CB Queensguard, the 1 seed, will await the victor of this match here, while SG Charm, the 2 seed, awaits the winner of TD Daggers and 8 Gaming. Both those teams, of course, on bye this week due to finishing top 2 in the season. We have matches next week. November 2nd and November 9th will be our grand finals, but we're focused here on the action today. Rev Armada and Mystic Cats, two of the teams that put the pedal to CB Queensguard during this season.
Yeah, and I can't wait. And we're getting decently close, but I don't think we should have anything major to talk about. But I'm just getting ready for this draft. How about you, Bickle?
Yeah, it'll
Not
be
the
interesting to
draft
see
game.
what both these teams are able to execute in the game. They have game
Who do you
plans
think is going to be
prepped.
the shining star for both teams?
Shining star for both teams. I think for Rev, it has always been the Madness show, and that's what I think it will continue to be. You're going to have that support, well, not support, the damage of Wingman over the top, but I think it's going to come down to both these 80 carries of Madness and Howard. The Lucian needs to get snowballing early, but a late game Jinx can absolutely be terrifying.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be revolved around bot lane. I don't expect to see anything major in mid lane as it is a Ziggs Veigar matchup. It's going to just be, farm it up, occasional ganks from both Jarvan and Viego, but a lot of pressure is going to be on that bot side. Not to only like get ahead for if you're the Lucian Rakan, but also to make sure you don't fall way too behind getting pushed out of lane if you're the Jinx Nautilus. Top lane, it's a tank v tank matchup, so I expect these junglers to be in that bot side river continuously.
I definitely do too. That's where we're going to see this action occurring. But with that, we are into our client draft and our spectator delay. When we finish that up, we'll be back here with game number 1 of the night between Rev Armada and Mystic Cats Red. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our first game of the day here between Rev Armada on the blue side with Denobi top, Dino jungle, Wingman mid, Madness 80 carry, and Bachelor support taking on Mystic Cats red of Greg Boy top, Sword of Destiny jungle, Klugschreiber mid, Power 80 carry, and No Not November support. Both these teams facing off here in our first game of the playoffs. Number 4 taking on number 5.
Hey, Wingman got one bonus ability power, starting off the game strong.
He's
You know
got
what
a
that
bonus
means?
AP. He's got a stack on tier.
Which means bonus gold.
He's got a mana flow proc. It's just go next.
Oh no. Is that it's mana flow and mana shard? Hold up.
He's got
They have
mana
both?
flow band. He's got tier. He's got the stack of passive.
Oh.
But that was traded back if Sword of Destiny picks up a CS from killing the ward. So
Oh,
even
wait,
game.
so which one's better?
Good point.
What's the
good
better
point.
advantage here?
We'll have to wait and see.
Anyway, we have honestly, in the bot side, look at this. No Not November was he's gonna look to pull the wave, so that's just gonna be a double chicken start from both sides. I want to see what the Dino's pathing is, as you know, you're playing Jarvan, you can easily look for a cheese level 2 gank.
We'll have to wait and see. Both these players just happy to farm it up right now and play it relatively safe.
Yeah, and look at the difference of pathing on both sides. Sword of Destiny is actually pathing bot side, going for this bot side lane, and Dino is pathing up. So I wonder if they're going to try to just get Denobi to
Although
get
we
a
do have
little
a
bit
dredge
stronger.
line landing there onto Madness, but a
Boy.
grand entrance back in. Ignite comes in into Madness' Batch, trying to peel power, throws out the zap, but it is sidestep. Madness chunk back, and Batch and Madness really low under tower now. Do finally pick up that level 2. Zap gonna land onto Madness, not even more.
Yep, and that's gonna be a couple pods burned for Madness and Batch. So decent trade. No, not November is just gonna zone out Batch and Madness very easily, and Howard's gonna pick up first, yes, but Howard is low.
Yep. Not just saying there are many bushes, but this is my bush. Stay away.
Oh no, I think no, not November took that without a proc.
Oh no.
Taking CS from their 80s carry,
Rooting
but look at
Bachelor
this.
once again.
That's a lot of damage on the Bachelor yet again.
Bash doing a
last-
good job though there with the Gleaming Quill poke back, healing himself and Madness up a little bit. As you mentioned, pots
Yeah,
on
we've been
both
down in
sides
bot lane
being
forever.
back.
We keep watching the bot lane.
So that's where all the action's happening. And now both junglers are in the area too. You see Sword of Destiny already here in the spot bush as No Not November stepping up. Lands the dredge line there on to Madness. Bachelor trying to peel.
They're going
Able
for
to walk
Bachelor.
behind the
Bachelor is
traps,
gonna
but
be
does
stunned
walk
up.
out, flashes away, gets out to safety. As Madness is stepping up. Grand entrance so forces out the flash of No Not November.
Yeah, I actually wasn't. I'm surprised that they didn't look for the play. They had the heal with
Hold on,
the Jace.
Dredgeline comes in on the Batch, but look who's here. It is Dino. Flag drag, not able to land the flash follow, but they have cut off not. Sword of Destiny still here, but that is No Not November falling first blood to Dino.
Yeah, just a way too aggressive play by No Not November, knowing that there's a possibility that Dean was pathing back bot side, and it was there right after Short of Destiny left the lane. So they spent a lot of time in the bot lane, didn't get anything. They only got one sum, and that's from Batch, and then they over aggressively went for the engage again, and they died for it. And that kill actually went on over to the Jarvan. So not the worst, but obviously not the best. You soak a lot of the XP if you're the Viego, and then in the end, Madness gets a lead over Howard in the spot side.
Definitely a good advantage already picked up there. Dino with the first blood, and assist going over to Madness and Batch. We'll have to see what they can do with it. As right now, both junglers back to farming. Though Sword of Destiny may look to make something happen here mid on lane.
Yep, and there looks like a. I wonder if he's gonna try to stop the back. I'm actually
thought he was
surprised.
gonna try and do something.
I'm actually surprised he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he's full health. He has Ignite. He can easily just press E, walk up and press E, or at least attempt to force him just to stop the recall. But now Lucian's gonna go back. Has a Sheen. and that's against Tower's double longsword dagger. So this Lucian is going to be extremely strong. This 2v2 is going to go one-sided, and I don't want Sword of Destiny to feel like they have to continuously go bot side, because then they'll just fall behind their own jungle.
Yep, that could be really difficult if he's forced to go down there. Both mid laners back off the reset have picked up their own lost chapters, just mirroring each other. But it is Klug with a sizable CS lead right now, up already 10. You mentioned the Sheen picked up for Madness, so we are seeing that Essence Revolution once again. But look at top side, that's where we have our biggest lead at the moment. A 20 CS lead picked up for Denobi.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is like a dream lane for Ziggs. You play. Oh wow, Howard has to flash, and that's the power of the fact that you're playing Jinx. And if you get engaged on, you need to blow your flash. Now without a flash, they just need to play super careful. They can't even walk up to Madness or Bachelor, or this Jinx is gonna be really dead.
Yeah, Howard in a bit of a rough spot there. Tried to throw out the zap to grab that cannon, which he did do, but it puts him in a dangerous position where Batch just was able to threaten the knockup and force out the flash with not in the area.
Yep, and just from the first blood and CS lead, we have about an 800 gold lead. But that gold lead is a lot of it is in the top side. It's 400 gold for the Ornn, plus a bunch of biscuits, plus a pot. So they have a lot of sustainability in this lane. They could force Greg Boy to go back and then push more minions into the tower, gain a bigger XP advantage, and Greg Boy will be pretty much out of this game. But the big thing is they are a Malphite. So even if they're 0-6,
they're always
they still have the unstoppable force.
But a big thing to note, this wave is forcibly pushing, and Jarvan is here without a flash on this Jinx. Howard could be in danger, but no, not November. Does dredge line out, but caught by that knockup means he is in danger, is going to fall to Madness in the end. The Mega Inferno Bomb will do a bit of damage on the Dino, but they are going to walk out. But a roam down here from the mid laner. Satchel charges in to try and get a bit more. Flash in by Sword of Destiny, but flag drag out by Dino gets him to safety. Blue just thrown out.
That's a lot of damage on Bachelor.
Auto's coming out from Howard. And Batch is
look
low.
who's behind
The Event Horizon picks it up on Bachelor, but the Event Horizon is able to buy space and trade 2 back. Klug picks up a kill, but have to run for his life. Dodge out on this mid lane Vagar. Drops the Dark Matter and gets out to safety.
And you're playing Jinx without flash, with no vision in the river. You can't step up that far. What happened is that the Dean was in the river, was ready for the gank. They pick up the kill, and not only that, on the backside, you see Wingman, was it late roam, but was able to pick up the kill, and so that's...
Going out on the Madness, threatening the damage with Klug, throws out the Ignite. Dino and Madness both play the terrain blocks that bouncing bomb, means he gets out to safety.
Wait, it's slow. They just they need to give up this dragon.
Yeah, they force him off the dragon, and that means Mystic Cats, with Sword of Destiny now here with Howard, going to pick up the first objective of the game.
Yeah, but still, it's still a 1.8k gold lead. You give up the first dragon, the dragons were heavily nerfed, so it's not a big deal. And the top side, it's still going pretty poorly. It's still maintaining a 20 CS advantage for Denobi, but this bot side is getting considerably worse, and they need to have an opportunity to get this bot side into mid lane, to get this very dangerous lane away from Jinx. They need to get the Jinx in the mid lane, and they have to have Klug basically wave clear bot lane and then look for the plays mid.
Yep. And Klug has been holding up pretty solid right now. Up 20 CS, picked up that kill down bot on the Batch. Puts himself into a solid position, but the rest of his team is unfortunately just falling behind.
That's like the bright point. We saw Klug do so much damage in that team fight. They were able to pick up Batch just barely, even though they did overall lose that team fight. So we saw the power of those bouncing bombs, and we're going to see them do a lot more damage as the time goes on in this game.
We'll have to wait and see what can be done. Eyes are on Klug to be that potential carry. For now, on that Ziggs and Madness, 1-0-3 on this Lucian. We wanted him to get ahead, and he already has.
Yeah, Denobi actually has a Sheen. So
Frostfire.
Yep, it's gonna be a Frostfire, but is it gonna be worth it in this game?
with the Frostfire, the auto's going to slow, obviously, but that
It's
is
gonna
a heavy
slow.
focus onto autos. But
Yeah,
that means Klug is just going to pump out so much damage
exactly.
on this Leangry Ziggs. And speaking of Klug, he has rotated up and started to focus this Herald. And Dino in the
Sword
area now. The
Destiny.
eye available. The smite comes
Oh,
down. Dino steals it, walks it over, takes it. Gonna try and flag drag away. Flashes out from that unstoppable force. Cataclysm's in. Goes in onto Greg. And Shinobi gets the knockup. Unfortunately, that is Dino falling to Klug. But here comes Batch trying to peel. Shinobi in danger. Flashes away. Sword of Destiny not able to pick up another reset. But he does get one. Wingman throws out the Event Horizon. Bellows Breath able to take out Sword of Destiny.
well, this is what the Sheen comes in.
Back, but flashed away. Means a bit of damage is still there. Howard throws out the traps in the bot side, able to buy a bit of space for himself in No Not November. And that's a bit of advantage now going the way. A bit traded back, though, as the Herald was picked up by Dino. But hold on, that's a root coming onto Madness. No Not November throws out the depth charge. Means Howard throws out the zap, not going to get it. But Klug throwing out these autos, the bouncing bomb down the mid laner.
I'm glad No Not November and Hour actually went aggressive.
Oh, No Not November goes to the flash dredge line, but he hits a minion. Howard has to flash away, and he is taken down in the end.
Oh, that's gonna be the TP though for Nobi.
Yep, and Howard and No Not November are in no man's land. Knocked away, dredge line out. The zap comes in, tries to buy something. The blast cone knocks him back. Howard and No Not November are just waiting to die. Howard is trying to get out how he can. Batch throws out the Gleaming Quill to take him down. No Not November seems to be next on the menu as he's been walking under some towers.
Wait a minute. Oh,
he's going to fall to Denobi in the end.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. After that dive, No Not November had to walk up and try to tank. But Howard ended up tanking that entire time. So they got the kill, but that's on a
Dino coming in
solo
on the Sword of
Lucian
Destiny with Batch to help. No knockup off that Grand Entrance. That is a stolen blue buff.
Yep. Oh, Madness was looking for the play right here too. And, you know, the advantage, the fights have been back and forth. We see a 3-0 Ziggs in the mid lane, so that's going to do a lot of damage, but everywhere else it's just bleeding. So it's going to be a tough ask from Klug to actually make sure these team fights go well, but it is a Ziggs. It does do a lot of damage, so we'll have to see its next objective, which is going to be the dragon in about 50 seconds.
Klug's going to have a lot of poke early with the Ziggs, the bouncing bombs, the explosive minefield just to buy space. It's going to make it difficult for anybody to walk through.
Here's the problem, though. You have a flash of Ziggs, you have a flash of Jinx. This is a pretty easy engage if you're the Dean or if you're Denobi. The Cataclysm is pretty much a surefire hit, and they're going to be locked in place for Wingman and Madness just to go crazy.
If you're the side of Mystic Cats with both those flashes down, it feels like you can't really do anything to contest this next objective coming up in 10 seconds. Dino, also with that steal away topside, has the Herald to add try out to the map wherever he may like. But Howard picking up another plate there down bot, maybe, does end up getting it on the Jinx.
Yeah. Just a random question. Every time Klug throws a bouncing bomb, do you see like it saying 9999?
9,999 damage? Yes, I've noticed that on the Ziggs bombs. I've noticed that on the Jinx traps. Thank you, Riot, for a wonderful client. Yep, there's a little bit from Batch Blurred. Oh boy, that's a lot of 9999s.
Yeah, at this point you can't go up if you're Klug. Oh my god. That's a shutdown that you don't want to give over. You don't have... That's a late back from Greg Boy, and they're just going to have to give this up.
Yep, it's smart there from Mystic Cats not to fight in the end. Just give up the objective. Go back to farming. Try and get something. Only down 1.3k, but you got to imagine all their gold right now. They have 1,000 gold league on Klug. That means the rest of the map is down about 3k.
Yeah, that is... pretty crazy, but to be fair, the best place to put it is on that Ziggs, and I hope Klug actually goes for a Zodius at point of this game, because they're going to be targeted very easily, and Wingman's taking a ton of damage, just jumping on those explosive mines. They would not do well on a game of, what's that game called? Well, they would not do well if there's a bunch of Legos on the ground, let me tell you that.
Yeah, those Legos are going to hurt quite a lot. Sword Shoes now picked up which are going to be really helpful as the only source of magic resist at the moment is those Mercury Treads on Denobi topside.
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna end up being super tanky, but with the Leandri's burn, I assume it's gonna be, they're gonna go for the Archangel second on Klug, but eventually, if the Death Cap gets completed, Wingman's gonna take pretty much like a third of their health bar with one bouncing bomb.
Yeah, anybody Wingman hit, I mean, anybody Klug hits with that bouncing bomb, with the Minefield, with the Mega Inferno Bomb, is just going to be absolutely chunked.
And funny enough, topside, the gold lead is still pretty much in favor of Denobi. It's about 900 gold. So this Orin is actually already level 11, the highest level on the side of Rev. But on the flip side, you do have a level 11 Ziggs, so that Mega Inferno Bomb is going to do a ton of damage.
It's going to do so much work in these fights. You have to keep our eyes on Klug throughout this entire game. He feels like he has the chance to be the difference maker if anything's going to happen for Mystic Cats.
I like the use of the ultimate to clear out the bot wave just to make sure everything is not going to waste. It is, you know, a decently short timer. It's only 73 seconds right now. So that'll be up pretty much in this next objective, but no one has actually gone for the Rift Herald this entire game. Except that, actually, sorry, they did. I forgot it was stolen. The second one, no one's gone for it.
Second one not picked up yet. Speak of the devil, though, and Dino and Ko are already on this, looking to take an early advantage here. Both mid laners down bot, but Batch already buying space.
Oh, they can't go for this fight.
On goes, and there's a Cataclysm on top of the two melees. Not November trying to run for his life. Sword of Destiny has already fallen. Dredge line's away, but that not going to let him go so easily as Denobi calls in the forward shot. There's the knockup off the grand entrance. The flag drag flash gets the follow-up knockup, and Dino picks up another. The two melees of Destiny and not have fallen.
That's terrible awareness from the Mystic side of Mystic Cats. Your strongest member is bot side. How do you think you can make that fight? You're not going to win it. You have 4 champions that are very weak at the moment, while your strongest champion that made every fight close is nowhere in the area. You just have to give that one up.
And once again, they're stepping too far forward, means Batch is able to force out Howard's flash. So that's another couple minutes now, with Jinx being down flash, being vulnerable to this Cataclysm, or any sort of engage coming out from the side of Rev.
Yeah, they're just never in a good spot of taking a good fight because they are forcing these random fights that are forcing their own summoner spells and really not allowing or not playing to their strongest point on their team, which is Klug or Klug or however you want to say it. Pretty sure it's Klugschreiber or is it Klugschreiber? I don't know.
Now 3-0 on the Ziggs, picked up his second item, stacking that Archangels to get it towards the Seraphs, getting the extra shield will be extremely helpful when he's engaged on top of just buy himself space. But right now, he's just trying to be a menace, pushing these side waves, getting the towers in, and using that Ziggs satchel charge to do a bit of extra damage and just knock down.
Look at Denobi's health already.
Look at
It's
Denobi!
so much.
He's a tank, and he is melting to this Ziggs.
Yep. Mid lane, a lot of members are around that mid lane area. Tower was taken bot side for Mystic Cats, so the tower is 1-1 right now, but the more important tower was taken mid by Rev, so that opens up the map considerably. Oh, and it looks like we are going to
Guess we're going to be a trade here. It looks like
dragon,
Klug
yeah.
is just setting himself up to take this top tier 1 using the satchel, but that means the side of Rev has complete cryo and man advantage onto this dragon. He's just uncontested. The Super Mega Death Rocket comes in. Not in time, though.
And, okay, when you see the enemy team actually just go for the dragon, you need to push out this mid wave. You can't just let it sit there. You need to at least deny something, and they take a reset while that dragon's happening. So they're not going to get anything off of it besides Klug actually very wisely stopped the back to make sure that top wave got pushed in.
Yep, and still pushing in, makes it crash, puts himself in a good lane state. And Klug has been doing pretty well of playing the map to his advantage, just realizing what they give up. But that is a flag drag onto Not there, and Dredge lines away. Madness with damage to Zap, though, will peel for.
And no, not will get caught out there. Not really living up to their name, unfortunately. They played super aggressive in a lane that, you got to play very careful to not give an advantage to. And unfortunately, Madness did get that advantage. On the bright side, Our has gained a CS advantage between the ADCs. So
Oh
they are
no,
ramping
not
up.
November in trouble here. Knocked up
Oh,
by Batch. Now in the middle of 3. Flag drag, knock up. Madness will take that down with that Blight Slinger.
yeah, I think you got to know that, you can't walk into these dangerous areas by yourself and you're just going to get punished.
We're stealing a couple of those chickens, which is always going to be nice to see.
Yeah. Wingman doing quite a bit of damage as well with that Luke's Echo. Almost has a Seraphs, and we have a small skirmish in the bot side, but I don't think anyone's going to die here.
And smart play here from Klug, looking at his itemization, picks up that Blighting Geel, so working towards a third item, Void Staff, wants to get ahead of the MR that is going to come online, so he becomes even more difficult to deal with for anybody on the team.
Oh.
Right now, it looks like the side of Rev tried to get a big aggressive on Klug. They may have overstepped, though. Bash forced to flash out. Dino fails the flag.
Oh, Rev!
On the top tower, but he is alone, taken down by the Jinx.
The shutdown to Jinx!
And they're right by Baron. Wingman's low and forced to leave. They could just pull the trigger here if they're thinking about it. And it looks like that's the call. Jungler down, mid laner chunked. They're just pulling straight onto this Baron.
Yeah, the TP is available for both Denobi and Wingman. Wingman will take a back and look to jump here, but I think this is going to be gone. I think that's just going to be a Baron for Miscats, and they bit off a little bit more than they could chew if you're the side of Rev. They look for the dive onto Klug, and Klug was able to get out, and they got the kill. They got the kill onto Dean, and that kill also went on to Our. So a lot of gold swing on the way to Miscats, and they're back in this game. They're now looking like they're in the driver's seat.
Absolutely in a great place. Getting Hauer some more gold, working towards that likely Infinity Edge. Getting a 2-item Jinx would be massive for the side of Mystic Cats, as that gives them the second carry threat, not just focusing on Klug, but Klug also making a bit of a diversion, picking up the Hextech Alternator for whatever his third item is going to be.
Yep, looks like a little bit of shared blue buff here, but I kind of want to see the Miscats team group up, mainly because I don't want to see Greg without that TP to be in the side lane with that very important ultimate in their arsenal.
Oh, Bat steals the Scuttle Crab at 1 HP. You love
so
and hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
It depends who you are.
But yeah, it looks like right now they're playing a 1-3-1 by the looks of it. And it's interesting because they're not going to be able to actually push up for this mid lane turret without some of their important tools, which is, threatening the engage, or like with the unstoppable force, and then the major poke you get from Klug. So
yeah, and speaking of that, they have Greg rotate over. They're looking to force down this tower at the moment, and with this numbers advantage, Call the Forge God though coming in over the top, going to get the knockup. Not there. Greg Boy just frontlining. Cataclysm though gets onto Sword of Destiny, tries to Heartbreaker out. The Batch goes into the knockup, able to get out. Flash is trying to continue the chase, but is the rest of the Cats just running? Meanwhile, topside, Klug taking another tower, picks up a tier 2, and he's looking to continue pushing. He says, all right, nobody's here to stop me. I'm going to keep shoving and trying to take your base.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that went as well as it did.
He just took an inhibitor tower.
Oh, he got out.
He's in a bit of trouble, though.
Oh, Wingman might, if that bouncing bomb hit, Klug would actually just ult right there. There's no flash on Wingman, but the dragon is coming up in 10 seconds. It looks like
Klug may be pulling out the sacrifice player, saying, goodbye, my friends, as he says, I'll draw all of them up topside, and dragon now spawning. This should be a free objective going the way of Mystic Cats. So yes, you pick up the kill, you pick up the shutdown onto Klug, but you lose 2 towers topside, and you lose a dragon, tied now 2-2 in that dragon position.
Yeah, I honestly think the engage by Rev could have gone a lot better. It looks like it was forced to the left side, and they took way too long to get the kill in the Sword of Destiny. They could have, with a better engage, they could have cleaned up that fight, basically get a short, like as possible ace, and push out mid. But they do get the kill onto the Ziggs. They get the shutdown, and I believe that went to Dean. So this Jarvan's actually very strong.
Absolutely super strong right now. And yes, they did lose Klug, their strongest member, but he is okay sacrificing himself to get a lot of stuff out. Batch, though,
Howard's gonna...
first into Howard, has the grand entrance out. Dino throws out the flag. Dino having a really solid game, 6-2-4 on that Jarvan.
Bachelor kind of went on a journey by
Spirit
themselves,
Trojan.
and I'm surprised that wasn't punished further.
Oh, absolutely.
But if we look at the levels, Denobi does hit levels 14, and you know what that means. That's going to be the Frozen Fist
More
and
Ornn
the Flicker
upgrades
for Madness. So, who comes up with these names?
You ask a very good question that I do not have an answer to.
I mean,
right now, Dino and Denobi just shoving out this mid lane as Klug catching the bot wave himself. And we are at a bit of a calm period right now. The Dino going for the invade onto that red buff, and it looks like the side of Mystic Cats is trying to meet him there.
Yep, and looks like they're gonna...
Heartbreaker right on top of the red buff. Flash in onto Dino. Oh, flash unstoppable force.
Not again.
No follow-up damage. Denobi gets blast cone right to the middle of 3 and says, team, help, and just gets blown to smithereens. But meanwhile,
but look who's in the middle.
And then seems like a Death Rocket not able to catch enemy.
Oh,
caught that event horizon, chunked out to half health. Sword of Destiny goes over the wall with that Heartbreaker, looking to chase.
Sword of Destiny's a little bit too aggressive right now. They might get caught out. Oh, they got stunned at the Madness.
Follow up there, and he's just blown to smithereens.
That is just way too aggressive by Sword of Destiny. They look for the play, but they're by themselves. Their entire team wasn't there. They got the pick onto Denobi, but Greg Boy still overcommitted. Was 1v4. Very farther from their own team. And then Sword of Destiny actually pulled a Madness and went mad into the enemy team as well. So they get the turret, but they keep giving skills.
Found out just how far those Chemtech blast cones will take you. As they got sent into the middle of the enemy teams. We're both like, well, it doesn't matter that I'm a tank. I'm just going to get melted here. So both tanks were traded, and then Sword of Destiny was feeling himself just a little too much. We're trying to get the
they're feeling themselves, but they're 1-5, so they need to stop feeling themselves because it's not going too well.
Not going too well, but as you mentioned, Wingman picking up the kill there, puts himself in a really solid position now. 4-1-2, working towards that death cap.
Yep, and looks like that red buff that I thought they were gonna secure is still up, and Dean is gonna take that one. Baron is coming up in about 8 seconds. We see another point of contention. The gold lead is only about 1.5k in the favor of Rev, but with the ornaments, with the scaling of the not only the Ornn, but the Veigar passive of getting additional AP, they're getting much stronger, and they need to make sure they play these team fights a little bit more clean and a little bit more cohesive than what they've been doing.
We do have a 5-man stack on Batch, force the grand entrance over the wall, get out to safety. It seems like the side of Mystic Cats putting their focus around this Baron now. Are they
gonna start it? Oh, this is a choke against
that is
Ornn.
A bold call.
This is a bold call. They're gonna get
strategy con. Let's see if it pays off. Call the form. Coming over the top onto all 3 carries. There goes Batch. Not able to get anything due to the Cataclysm. Klug trying to flash out. Trades a kill back onto Dino, but all of his friends have died. Klug is the last man standing for the side of Mystic Cats, trying to do anything. Throw out these bouncing bombs, blast cones over the wall, out to safety. Throws out the bouncing bombs, gets a big chunk on the Wingman, but caught in the event horizon and able to trade back thanks to that Seraph shield, but traded onto Wingman means that is all of Mystic Cats falling for just 2 members of Armada.
You're playing against an Ornn. You're playing against a Rakan. You are grouped up into a Baron pick, also against a Veigar. What do you think is going to happen?
What happened is a massive knockup combo that could have been even worse, but it does not even matter, as everybody on the side of Mystic Cats ends up falling there. And Wingman showing why Veigar's become such a prio pick, so commonly banned against him, 6-1-4 on the champion. These event horizons have been massive for locking down the carries and for just keeping the zone going.
I want to know who made that call, because that's a call you can't make, especially because it's a 5v5. You're not coin flipping the game. You're putting yourselves into a death trap, and that's exactly what happened. They might be able to trade this for the their third dragon, which actually they will, but they're gonna feel the pain now as this Veigar is 6-1, has the Eye of the Ludin. Oh my god, I hate these names so much. But they're just gonna be able to just start
You
running
don't
it
love
mid.
the Frozen Fist, the Eye of the Luden, the Ceaseless Hunger, or the Flicker?
Can't say I do.
Hold on. Greg Boy, even being the tank, fully stacking armor means he is still paper to Wingman right now.
Yeah, and the big threat versus the Baron that Miscats had is the fact they have the anti-engage with the Veigar. They have the super engage with not only the Orin, but Rakan and Jarvan. So one misstep from Miscats can spell their doom. So we might see that soon.
Man, we'll have to wait and see. Decimation coming in here. Mystic Cats in a bit of the back foot at the moment. Armada doing a good job pushing around the map, using this Baron buff as much as they can. And they're looking to find a way to strangle out this game and bring it to themselves to the first game win.
And it looks like a lot of damage is actually getting put down from Klug. So they're going to push Rev back, but this might be they might look to engage their Miscats, but it might go poorly if they overstep.
Call the Forge God coming in just to disengage, try and buy his teammates an out, as we saw Wingman chunked by both those long-range abilities, by the Super Mega Death Rocket, by the Mega Inferno Bomb. Chunks him low, but he is able to get out to safety, and the side of Rev escapes after the push, and is just setting themselves up to further siege.
Yep, that was a pretty good, defense of the top lane inhibitor tower. And you can kind of expect that with the Ziggs. But they just have to make sure they pick their team fights, again, a little bit more wisely than what they've been doing. Because they keep on getting themselves into a position where they get spread out. They keep on getting to a position where they get caught out.
Forced to flash out of that flag drag.
You know, they take an adventure by themselves, and with a small walk in the park, they're immediately in Chicago, and it's not very safe anymore.
Nah, this jungle is not your own. You need to stay out of here. Trying to get whatever vision they can in the area. As you see Rev just stacking up, ready to siege in, ready to find a fight and pick somebody off.
Yep.
Denovi stepping up, gets the knockup off the Searing Charge. There's the flag drag. The Satchel Charge, though, gets Klug out to safety. He is chunked to half health. Batch here, able to not land the Grand Entrance, flashes in with a quick call. The Forge God over the top. He's going to get a 4-man knock. No, not ever instantly taken down. But it's traded back onto Dino. The reset comes in, but that Sword of Destiny blown up by that Primordial Burst. And that is the side of Rev. Really low back.
Oh, the damage.
And those trades it back onto Klug. Denovi with an inch of his life will live in the end, as that is all of Rev taking down Mystic Cats.
That was a super close fight. In the end, Klug got caught by the Dark Matter of Wingman with that 1000 AP on top of their forehead. They got caught out. The fight was immediately over, but that started with the healthy engage by Rev. They were able to get on top of many of the members of Miscats, but with a lot of damage coming out from Klug, with a lot of CC coming out from the rest of the Miscats team, they're almost able to pull it back to a winning team fight, but in the end, Rev will stand on top. Both Nexus turrets will go down and then follow up by the Nexus. So we're going to go to a game 2 with Rev up to 1-0.
Yep, Rev takes game 1 in rather convincing fashion. And that puts them up 1-0 in this series. Side select now goes to the Mystic Cats. We'll see how things peel out.
Oh my god!
Wow! So, I could ask you who the MVP for Mystic Cats was, but I think the damage charts says it all. As you can see, 8,000, 6,000, 13,000, 4,000, and then 50k damage there from Klug.
I mean, if you want to actually put numbers into it, right, that was like 60% of the damage being done by Klug in that game.
That's absolutely absurd.
Yeah. They did a ton of damage, and it's just about falling behind in these other lanes and going a little bit too aggressive, taking fights that you didn't need to. And a little bit of cleaning up of those mistakes here and there, this Miscats team could have easily won the game.
Absolutely. So the rest of Klug's team together did 32,000 damage. Klug alone did 50,000 damage.
Yeah,
So he
that
did.
is the damage chart.
Yep.
But for game 2, right, the Ziggs might get banned. After that game, I know Rev had problems with the Ziggs. It's just the fact that they didn't have any problem with anybody else on the team.
There were no issues anywhere else across the map. But if you're the side of Mystic Cats, that Vagar was a problem. That was your biggest problem throughout the entire game. Dino also got some very big advantages on that Jarvan. Those were 2 picks that really put you down, as Dino just pressured the flashless Jinx so often. There was nothing she could do in a team.
Yep, exactly. It's a lot easier to play with that team comp, right? You have so much engaged, so much CC that you know how to play the comp. And the early game. That's a big point, is the early game it was much easier to play. Your Lucian or Khan, you could go super aggressive. If you're Jinx Nautilus, you need to give up some kind of room. Same thing with giving up some of the objectives that they, including like the Rift Herald, the second Rift Herald, that they just didn't want to give up. It feels like they just didn't want to give up some objectives. They gave up the second dragon, which was smart. But in times where, you know, the game might get out of hand and it's either taking a 30-70 fight versus, you know, giving up one small objective to look for a better fight later on and keep your summoners, you always have to go with the second option.
Oh, absolutely. That's so important. And we'll have to see what the side of Mystic Cats takes away from this. We are going to head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll be here with the draft for game number 2 of the day between Mystic Cats and Rev Armada. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number two's draft here between Rev Armada, the 4 seed, and Mystic Cats Red, the 5 seed. Armada currently up 1-0 in the series after a very strong performance. Mystic Cats now with side select take us to the blue side. Draft though starting up pretty similarly as before, as we see Lux, Zeri, and Xerath all taken off the board. No adaptations coming in yet.
Yeah, I guess they're pretty scared of that Zeri, which you could say that they don't want to play against Madness Zeri, but what could have been different in the bot side that would have affected the entire game? And they actually leave the Vega, which they might actually just first pick with
They
this
have to first pick it. There's no way they leave it up and then don't pick it. As Rakan is instead what they ban away, Mystic Cats B1 thinking it out.
Thinking it out, but they're gonna go with the Maokai, and they're gonna leave with the Veigar up, and they want that matchup again.
Isn't it J4 Veigar angle for Rev?
Yeah, I think they're just gonna take both picks yet again.
Yeah.
The J4 is a very solid pick. The Veigar
just
obviously went well.
It's just J4 Veigar.
Yep.
Has to.
I assume they want that matchup again in mid lane where they just pick the Ziggs again, which it is left up. So I assume it's gonna be the J4 again. It went very well with the first game. Veigar's
the Veigar,
and then the J4 picked here most likely.
Unless they want to pick up the Sylas, something that was banned last game. I personally prefer the J4, but instead they're taking away the Nautilus, saying, okay, you've already got Maokai, you've got your jungler, so we're not worried about whatever you're going to pick up here.
Yeah, but now you see the Veigar, so you kind of assume that do they just pick up the Ziggs here because it went well. The matchup went well. Overall, the team fights did not go well, but I want to see how much of a difference that game would have been. Oh, picking up the Ashe. Giving a little bit more engaged on this Mystic Cats side, which is better than we saw in the first game. It gives you a little bit more opportunity to make plays early on.
More engage, more utility.
Ooh.
That's an interesting one. The Aurelian Soul picked up for Klug in the mid lane here, saying we're going to match scaling for scaling. We had the Ziggs to take an early lane advantage last time, and yes, Klug popped off, but it didn't work in the game. This time they're going for something to scale along with it and provide that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a CS just mid lane. Like, I'm pretty sure they were just practicing their CS in the mid lane for the first 15 minutes of the game, besides that one roam bot. But I think Klug just wants to know, is like, okay, I can just like scale up super hard in the mid lane, get a bunch of Stardust, and now I'm going to do a ton of damage in these team fights rather than relying on my poke. But the Sylas getting picked up here, and we know where that's going. That's going into the jungle.
Yep, that's being picked up for Dino. Now Armada banning away the Jarvan and Malphite. Easy engage focus. They're saying Maokai could be flexed. We're not going to chance it. Taking away the best jungler left. Taking away the top laner you played last game. Well, Mystic Cat saying, okay, no Tom Kench for Denobi. It's been a menace on
Do
this.
They just ban out the Warden as well?
We'll have to see what they're deciding. Go for the Olaf instead. Want to take away an extra carry threat. But you got to think, there's got to be more engage coming here from Armada, and you'd expect that to come out of Denobi.
Look at these ultimates that Dean will be able to take in this game so far. Nature's Grasp, Crystal Arrow, just heavy tools.
Right. This is a Sylas's wet dream so far.
Exactly, unless they go 0-5 in the jungle. That we may or may not have seen a couple of weeks ago. But
hey, he went 0-5 and they still won that game.
Yeah, exactly. Which shows you the power of this Rev team. Like, they don't rely on just one person. Each one of them can just do extremely well.
Yeah, Rev is absolutely coming to themselves later into the season. I was worried about them come the midway point, as they really felt like 5 players instead of a team. But ever since then, they've worked it out and found their synergy, and it's been going pretty well. As Mystic
Looks like that was a
Cats
Jace pick.
Picking up the Jace.
Jace Rel.
Interesting. So that, you'd imagine that's Rel heading down bot, and Jace likely for Greg. Meanwhile, we do see the Varus picked up there for Madness. Counterpick topside for Armada here. What is Denobi's answer into this?
I wonder if they're just thinking, it's like, okay, they're going to take the Ornn, so we have Jace against Ornn. But the problem is, I see a lot of players overestimate how much damage they have and how much they underestimate how much Orin does early in the game, and they just die to them because Orin has so much damage with those brittle procs that Orin could surprise you.
Yeah. Absolutely can surprise you. Absolutely can do more damage than you're expecting. And once Orin gets stacking this armor, Greg on this Jace is just going to tickle him with that lethality.
Yeah, and it's going to be pretty interesting, especially, I mean, the poke will do some good damage against the Veigar and the Bears. The engage is a little bit, I would say it's actually a little bit less than what they had in game 1, but they have more CC for Rev. They still have the Orin ultimate, they still have the Varus Chains of Corruption. They have, actually, I take that back. Silas could take the Crystal Arrow and the Nature's Grasp, so they still have a ton of engage, but they have more CC than they had last game.
Definitely do. So many good ultimates there for Dino to steal on the Silas. Everything aside from the Jace ultimate, he's in a really good position.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully he used the Rel ultimate correctly. I saw him mess that up a couple weeks ago, but he just has so many easy outs, especially in these team fights. He could just take 2 major ultimates, start a team fight, and also those ultimates will do a ton of damage. So I'm excited for this one. Who's your pick to win this game?
I'm still sticking with the side of Armada. I personally, even though Dino's found success on the Silas jungle, I'm not a fan of it. But I think Wingman on Veigar is just too much to deal with. I don't know how it made it through pick ban once again, but him on this pick just fits them so well, and Denobi back on that Ornn just sets them up for success.
I honestly think they just play super well knowing that they don't need to force anything, right? So they don't need to force anything. They know they have some heavily scaling champions, which you can see with the Veigar Ornn combination. A lot of times you would see people abuse it, but they just play super far back. They don't over commit onto any major like game throwing fight, and so they have confidence in themselves getting to level 14, 15, 16, where those ornaments will come out, where Veigar will start one-shotting anyone on the map, and where their CC and just engage will triumph.
Absolutely will. We'll have to see what they're able to bring to the table. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out. Where do you think we're going to see some early action in this game?
So the early action did happen bot lane last game, but this, it might be a little bit different, where we could see Miskat's red possibly looking for a play topside to try to get their Jace going, to try to get Greg going. They could also look for a play in mid, just so that they have some kind of advantage that's not bot lane. But then again, bot lane is always such a big tool. You have the Nautilus, you have the Rel, you know the engages can come out very easily, especially when you have a Silas and a Maokai. There's a lot of follow-up CC that could just lock down one person, so they might just look to immediately trying to get a snowball going.
It definitely can. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. Just to give everybody else an update, of course, we do have this game on stream here between Mystic Cats and Rev Armada. Armada currently up 1-0. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, 3 seed TD Daggers is currently up 1-0 on the 6 seed 8 Gaming Teal. We'll keep you updated on how that series is going. But for right now, we are going to head into our break once we get the client draft going and head into a bit of a spectator delay. And when that's all done, we'll be back here with game number 2 of the night between Rev Armada and Mystic Cats Team Red. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 of the night between Mystic Cats Red and
Oh.
Revolution Armada.
Yeah, right away we're looking for some shenanigans as Rev just running it down mid with that Nautilus pick with Dean on the side, so they have a lot of lockdown CC if they wanted to engage or look for an invade.
Yes, they do, and already we do see Dean pick up the first ward kill and the first CS, as well as Wingman get another stack onto the Phenomenal Evil, but this time he went first strike, so he's got money as well, and that just means this is all going the way of Revolution Armada.
Yeah, I love how he pings his ability power.
He's like, hey guys, I got it.
Yep, and in top lane it looks like Greg actually opted to go for the cull against Denobi, so we're gonna see how that goes. Doesn't have as much health as you would.
And for anybody that has eyes and realized as well as us as it loaded in, this is a Rel jungle with a Maokai support. Both going Aftershock here, trying to be a bit tankier. So no Glacials on the side of Mystic Cats this game. Whereas Rev has obviously the Glacial there on the side of Bastion.
Yeah, Rel jungle did go out of like favor for the entire last patch, basically, I think, or last 2 patches. It's been a good bit where Rel support was always solid. So it was, you know, I thought I was gonna go support because it's a lot better at support. But I want to see how Sword of Destiny does with that pick, because I think it's gonna become like a feast or famine where they might just be down like 3 levels to the ADCs at 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Something to note, though, this is lethal tempo there from Madness, so you'd expect this to be the on-hit style Varus, as opposed to that poke Varus we sometimes see with the pure lethality. So expect a bit of on-hit, that Rage Blade, maybe the Bork will come online. We'll have to wait and see.
Both bot laners hit level 2 at the same time, so we didn't see a major trade. But look how many biscuits are in this game.
All the cookies.
All the cookies.
Yeah,
right now, I'm pretty sure we're going to see just a CS battle mid.
Both those mid laners probably just going to be focused on CSing. Nothing too exciting going on at the moment.
Yep, and it looks like Dean decided to like skip the red buff and go directly to the Krug, so taking the red buff late. And look at this, Sword of Destiny is actually going to go a little bit of hunting now.
Dean has level 3, Sword of Destiny only has level 2. You don't win this. And Silas is right there. The only thing is Sword of Destiny does have Smite, depending on whatever goes on. Sword of Destiny goes in, forces out the flash of Dino, actually. And there we see the Kingslayer in. It's a bit of extra health.
Yeah.
Not sure if anybody's going to get the red buff, though.
I mean, we're going to see a little... Now we're going to see...
Abscond, Abduct coming in. We do see the Shattering Strike. Sword of Destiny low 4. This is the fail flash over the wall. But Klug here to buy his jungler some space.
Just gonna,
Wingman in trouble, though. We do see over the wall, though, that crash down. And a failed Abscond over the wall means he's not able to follow up the chase. And both junglers losing flash.
I don't think you could ever invade like that, knowing that you're level 2, and if you invade, the other jungler will be level 3. That is just...
God, please no. Dino, really low here. Is going to pick up Smite, though. So he does take down the camp in the end. Bit too close for comfort.
I'm surprised we didn't see a roam up for Wingman or roam down for
Batch stepping up to Howard, gets the auto with the root. There is a force flash out, though, from Howard. Again, this 80 carry without flash. We saw him punished so much last game. We'll have to see if Rev stays on the same page this time.
Yeah, going back to that invade, I'm surprised the top lane for Rev or the mid lane for Rev didn't just immediately rotate, because that's the freest kill you're ever going to get. Or at least blow the flash immediately and put Sword Destiny further behind than they already are.
The fact that Klug was the first mid laner or first player there in general was very surprising, considering he was on the wrong side of the map.
But Wingman is low on mana, so they're gonna have to take it back. While Klug actually just already took the back and TP'd back the lane, so they're gonna be able to push this wave out. They do pick up a little bit more mana, a little bit more AP, so they're just gonna look to just keep farming, keep scaling, and maybe start doing a ton of damage earlier than they're supposed to.
Well, Wingman wants these phenomenal evil power stacks and gets himself some more AP. Klug looking to stack up that Stardust through his singularity.
Top lane.
Damage out.
The CS is 10 CS advantage of Denobi.
This should never happen.
And it feels like Greg Boy is playing extremely scared. Yes, you gotta watch out for just the big trade from Denobi. But now, you're just sacking, like... Oh,
no. The forward shot coming in on top there onto Greg.
You're gonna have to flash
it out. Searing charge against the knockup. Brittle proc available. Forced to flash away.
Yeah, it's... And with that, it's just... now it's just gonna be Denobi's lane. With this pick that you pick for the Jace, thinking that you're gonna give up the Ornn, it's just not going well because the early game, you're not aggressive enough to punish that.
Wingman drops that event horizon again. Sword of Destiny and Klug forced into the area, flashes into the cage, taken down by the Primordial Burst, and once again it is Wingman's Vagar making the difference.
And I feel like that is exactly what would happen first game, where Miscats feel forced to fight this. They didn't have the numbers. Both Howard and No Not November were super far away from contesting that. They just had to give it up at that point. But instead, Sword of Destiny and Cloak actually just walked up, get caught out, and they have to use some, and actually Cloak gave their life for it.
Greg trading a bit back topside, trying to make use of this Jace, but he's really far down in this position. Clue caught in this event prize and dodges out on the Dark Matter, though, and trades back, not able to get the Stardust proc, though.
Yep. And unlike last game where it felt like Klug was gaining a significant advantage from CS, it's pretty much still even in gold, but Wingman does have that kill, not gold, sorry, CS, and then Wingman does have that kill, so they will be up in gold by about 300. Klug is going to get caught in this event horizon.
Yeah, not going to land anything, though. And something to note, Dino showing bot there, forced out the Ghost of Howard. That's all the mobility now off this Ashe gone. Any step up by Bash once they hit level 5, and this should be a dead Howard.
Oh, 100%. And we can see all three lanes kind of playing super passively at this point. They don't want to walk up. In top lane, we see Greg just basically sacking the lane, and it's pushing towards Denobi. So Denobi is going to be able to keep forcing Greg away from his own minions.
And that's what's been happening. And Greg, despite being on this ranged champion that's known to be a lane bully, down over 10 CS in this situation.
Yeah, and they took the call knowing that they were going to try to, complete it early on with this matchup, but they're down about almost 20 CS. So they're going to be pretty far behind.
Madness stepping up onto No Not November, throwing out some autos. Nothing going to come out of it, though. Level 6 is going to be online for this bot lane soon. Madness has the Chains of Corruption. Eye's going to be on the Depth Charge, on the Nature's Grasp, on the Enchanted Crystal Arrow whenever those come out. Madness, of course, playing it smart, bringing the cleanse to a game versus an Ashe is always necessary when you're the opposite AD carry.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Bash is looking for a play, but it's going to get denied by No Not. So far, we actually haven't seen a lot of action from the junglers so far.
Yeah, well, you
Besides
we
that
haven't
skirmish.
seen that much action in general. Clue caught in this event horizon. Drops the Dark Matter on his head. Just chunked out even more. That's the issue when you're taking this Aurelion Soul. You are forced to sit in one place when you're throwing out that Breath of Life. And that just gives Wingman a free event horizon into darkness.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised they allowed the Veigar to go through and they decided to kind of counter with the Aurelion Soul. Because it does give a very good opportunity. Just like that, Klug is taken down to about execution territory, so they will have to back. They will lose a lot of minions to their own tower. Oh.
Dredgeline forces the flash away as well as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow there from the side of Mystic Cats.
And yep, they're just gonna have to back off in the bot lane, and the gold lead is still about only 1k. But the way this game is going, it feels like Rev just has a big grasp on it. They have the lanes, there's heavy scaling lanes, just getting full priority. The lane that you would think that would get a little bit more priority from the Miscat side was the top lane, and they're just pretty much down 26 CS at this point.
Dino gets that Herald down as well, once again starting with these early objectives. We saw Sword of Destiny in the area, but just not able to contest.
Yeah, and while we haven't seen anything from the jungler so far, the Herald from game 1 and was stolen by Dean, and then right there Dean was able to take it. I imagine they're going to be able to use this to snowball a lane. I don't think they should really use it for just like the gold and bot lane. I think they should use it to open up the map in mid lane. That tower is about close to another play. Not close, but yeah, they just need to try to make sure that mid lane tower goes down, because we saw what happened in game 1 when they're able to get that mid lane tower. They were able to walk around the entire jungle of Miscats.
They were just able to take over the jungle of Mystic Cats. We already see our first Mythic online for Wingman. See that Luden's Echo online, and we're going to have the ability to upgrade it into the Eye of Luden once again as we get later for Denobi. And just, you have to look at that scaling between the Veigar and the Ornn. as something so dangerous to deal with.
Yeah, and we see Madness actually gain a 23 CS lead also in the bot side. So in terms of CSing, it's all on the side of Rev, as this is a 2k gold lead. And the only bright spot yet again, by CS standpoint, is mid lane.
Event Horizon is caught there. Dark Matter coming over the top. Baleful Strike not needed, as there's the Primordial Burst, a big chunk out. Meanwhile, all the fours got onto Greg, gonna walk it out. Goes back in with it to the skies and knocks him away. But Wingman just steps up and murders Klug with a Baleful Strike.
Yep, Klug kind of greeted a little bit right there and then was caught. Is giving up a free kill. That Baleful Strike does so much damage. Does 375 damage already. Has the full Luna's Echo complete on this Veigar. 2-0. You are wondering why that was allowed to go through the ban phase in Game 2 and actually in Game 1. But it's like shame on fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me kind of deal, as they're taking
coming back, throws out to the dredge line, not even landing anything, forces the flash away as the Nature's Grass comes out. But there's the TP as well. We see dropping those stars, and Greg also TP'd down. Nothing coming out as double TP is committed down to the bot side. Nothing gained for the side of Mystic.
Yeah, so they double TP'd. When you do that, you know you're going to lose a lot, so you need to make sure you gain back a lot, which also includes, like, a dragon. That dragon's not there.
Dredge line under the tower.
Oh, no, not
Madness
November's
throwing out
gonna go
the
down
autos,
here.
and the piercing arrow will take him down. The exhaust comes out of the tower. The autos can be available for the roof off those staggering blows, and Madness is just throwing out the autos, takes him down 2-0 to the side of Rev's bot.
They double TP'd, and they lost not only where they TP'd to, but top lane lost the tower. Mid lane, Klug is pushed out underneath their tower yet again. If they step up one time, they're just going to get executed by the Primordial Burst. So this is looking like a quick game from Rev at this point. If you're on the side of Miscats, you need to know what you want to do next game against this Veigar, against this Ornn, because obviously these can't be let through anymore.
To Mystic Cats and or any team watching, do not give Wingman Veigar. Just some friendly advice.
I mean, if you do, you need to have a pick to go, like, kind of punish it. The fact it's an immobile ADC. And Acel doesn't do it. Ziggs really doesn't do it either.
You saw Klug do that game 1 with that Ziggs, able to punish it pretty well in lane, get himself a lead. It just wasn't enough as it came on later. Yep. And once again, Power and No Not November just overstepping, not respecting a damn thing. That is the Chains of Corruption coming out, and Madness is just free autoing down, and Dino shows up and gets a free damn assist.
Yeah, Dino didn't even need to be there. That was just overextension from Howard and No Not November, and I wonder if this is a little bit of tilt coming in, as all three lanes are going poorly. It looks like there's no bright spot for Miscats Red in this game.
It's a rough position all around. Wingman throws out that star. Well, dodges out on the star, gets chunked down, but Bachelor is there to buy him space. Meanwhile, Denobi going on to Greg, just chunking him low. And Wingman, perfectly content on this Veigar right now, has his support in the area, include forced to flash away.
Yep, and Sword of Destiny, we might see the first Rail Ultimate actually be from Dean in this game, but Sword of Destiny is still sitting on a component. Has a little bit more gold, but we won't see a full item completed for a while on this Rail.
Yeah, it's a rough position for all of Mystic Cats to be in right now. Just trying to find something to do on the map. Meanwhile, Dino invading, feeling free to contest in the jungle, not having to do a damn thing.
Yep, and another Rift Herald will be coming up shortly, in about 24 seconds. And I imagine Rev is just going to take this uncontested, but knowing what's happened in both games so far, I wonder if Miscats will feel the need to contest it.
I mean, Gregory has this Eclipse. He goes into the skies, forces out the flash there. Dino is able to protect his towers.
Yeah, Greg actually finished the Eclipse, and with that Eclipse, he's going to start doing a ton of damage. So, he might be able to catch Shinobi off guard here with one big major combo, and oh,
Greg
I
trying
think
to
that
go
was
in,
it.
but
I think that
focusing on the minions instead. He had a chance to all in there, decided against that. All of the side of Rev, though, on this top side, completely uncontested with these objectives.
so picking up the eye is what was that, 2 trillion or is that 2 billion?
Let me think. It was 999,999.
No, it's
Nine.
2000000.
Oh,
I don't know how many zeros there
two
were.
zero 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 zero. I think it's a million. I think.
It was definitely not million. I'll tell you
Okay,
that much.
then I do not know at the moment. It was a big number. That's all I
It
know.
was a
Enchanted
massive
Crystal
number.
Arrow was going to land there onto Batch, but nothing going to come out of it whatsoever.
Yep.
As this dragon spawning in 5 seconds, perfect setup already for the side of Rev. They're just taking this game in stride like there's no difficulty.
Yeah. Oh,
Klug trying to
be
run
able to
away,
get
does
out.
get out of the event horizon, using that astral flight.
Miscats will need to throw the house onto pretty much Madness just to try to get this shutdown and get out. Their whole goal now to get back in this game is to get picks. They can't take an all-out team fight because they'll just get wiped. So
Screw the house. They need the whole damn village right now.
Oh.
As we do see the engage coming at Sword of Destiny, goes in, is able to pick up the objective in a
Oh, get out of there!
Oh. Throws down the stars and is able to get a knockup, but he's instantly blown up by that primordial burst. No Not November sees you next on the menu. Piercing arrow gets him low, but Dino comes in with the auto, takes him down. 3-0 going the way of Mystic Cats. Going the way of Red. Mystic Cats do steal the objective.
Honestly, that was a great steal, but that has to be a solo effort. It can't be any kind of
You go in, throw your life
Yeah.
away, saying, I'm trying to steal this, and that's about it. Meanwhile, the side of Rev drops this Herald. They're looking to crack the base already, less than 20 minutes into the game.
And they'll be able to do it. But Rep is somewhat low. I don't see. I wonder if they're gonna look to. No, they're. Oh wait.
Dusty flashes in, tries to catch with the Magnus Storm, stopped by the event horizon, and he's just getting chunked down. Greg Boy that goes in to the skies, knocks back with the thundering blow, and Klug is ripping them apart with a flying Stardust. They are able to take 2 down, not by space. Klug is going to continue to go. Call it forward, got over top. Klug picks up another. He's trying to trade it back. Taken down by the piercing arrow alongside the brittle proc of Denobi.
All right, the rest of the Miscats team has to run. They're super low. They're playing with fire right now, and that fire is named General Denobi as they were walking up to try to clear this minion away. But they do get the shutdown onto Wingman, and they do get the kill onto Dean. So they got some money back, but in the end, they do lose their inhibitor tower. And the next dragon will be up in about 3 minutes. Baron will be up in about 45 seconds. So you would have to think that Rev is targeting that Baron and looking to end this game quickly.
They gotta be 4-0-6 on Madness right now. This on-hit Varus is gonna shred just about whoever he pleases.
Oh.
Greg trying to get on the batch, throwing out some autos. Rooted it up though. Sort of Destiny looking team to chase an empowered shock blast, but the dredge line gets him out to safety.
Yep. And it was actually a pretty good engage by Sword of Destiny in that last fight, but they're so far behind that it came a little bit too late. Their goal now is to do exact same thing, and they need to burst down these damage dealers from Rev.
Not is knocked up there, throws out the Nature's Grasp though, tries to buy some space and just retreat, and he is able to do that. But that means this Baron is free for the taking of Rev if they feel. And that is exactly what they're looking to do.
And it's not like, oh, looks like there will be some kind of contest coming out.
Well, remember stepping up, Greg throws out that empowered shock blast, and it looks like the side of Rev peeling off,
TP's coming through.
pulling the TP of Wingman in now.
Oh,
but an
it got
interrupt
stunned out.
thanks to that Starfall means the
wait.
cause creator is going to live. He flashes away. Wingman tries to flash follow and get the kill. Not able to pick anything up though, as that is the TP and flash burned off of Wingman. That's all of his utility. Not able to join the fight now means that the side of Rev forced off this Baron.
The gravitational pull from the singularity actually is what saved Luke right there, as Wayman couldn't get close enough to just lay the entire building on top of Klug's head. And so Klug did get out, both flashes burned, but good stop at Klug just to ensure that that Baron did not continue.
Able to stop that Baron means he's able to buy his team a little bit more time, scale up as much as possible. But looking at this, it's already an 8K gold advantage for the side of Rev Armada for a phenomenal pace. And now Wingman just walks up the old-fashioned way and says, okay, now we're going to start the Baron.
Yep, and Klug actually doesn't have the mythic yet. The Meandries is not completed.
Oh, Cleanse comes out from Madness off the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. The Stolen Nature's Grasp comes out, trying to disengage by space. Call the Forge God coming over the top, but that's an easy Baron secured by the side of Rev, and they're just walking away.
Yep, and Dragon is coming up in 49 seconds, so they'll be able to get back in time. They did use a couple major ultimates there, and actually the biggest ultimate that they have for engaging is the Call of the Forge God. So that won't be up, but they're so far ahead in gold, it does not matter. Right now, this game feels like a game to throw for Rev, but we did see Rev kind of throw in the first game with that like getting caught in the top side over engaging for Klug, and so we saw how much damage Klug did with the Acel ultimate. So you just can't get caught off guard by that. You just can't over aggressively make a play.
Sword of Destiny wondering if he's going to try and be a hero once again, stepping up. He's trying to get some vision. Looks like he decides against it, though. That is just going to be Dragon going over to the side of Rev Armada. Puts themselves onto Soul Point. About an 8.5K gold lead at the moment.
Yep.
Or, sorry, just 9K gold lead, flat up.
Yep, flat 9K gold lead. All towers are still up for Rev, so we can see how Rev was able to defend all their turrets. Did not get a lot of pressure put into their towers through the lane. They're going to push out mid lane. And
Enchanted Crystal Arrow not going to land on anything there. Wingman caught in that singularity a little bit, chunked down. And we see Klug, he's doing a bit of damage, but it's just not enough right now.
Yep. I did like the play to try to catch Wingman with that arrow because they might have been able to burst him out without losing any money on their team. But look who else has an Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
Exactly. One just does a whole bunch of AP damage as well. It's going to hurt a hell of a lot more if you get hit by it.
Shinobi's taking a lot of damage from
Shinobi
Luke,
goes in for the knockup there. Forced to flash away, though, from that falling star.
Yeah, but in the end, the turrets will fall down. This gold lead is a little bit over 10K at the moment. The inhibitor will be under siege in mid lane.
You know, throws out the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. I have Hell's Craig right now. Sword of Destiny goes in to try and buy some space, as well as No Not November throws out that Nature's Grasp. But this is just a slow.
No Not November is
gonna. No Not November caught by the Call of the Forge God, taken down by the Ram God himself, and that is just the side of Rev Armada pulling the trigger and saying we're gonna go for the end right now. Dredgeline there lands onto Klug, takes him down. Then goes the double kill though for Greg. And that's a trade back. Howard stepping up. Wingman throws out the Event Horizon. Baleful Strike takes him down with the Dark Matter. And Howard's the last man standing to Madness and Wingman. And he's able to buy just enough time to get his team back on the board.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of damage coming back for Missy Cats, but like a little bit too late at this point where they did lose their inhibitor turret. They do lose one of their Nexus turrets. They're down 11K flat right now, and I feel like there's just one last push in the arsenal where they will just be able to take everything they need to go to a game 3 and look for the clean sweep on the Miscats.
Yeah, in a good position. And speaking of clean sweeps, currently TD just picked up their second win of the night, up 2-0 onto Ape Gaming. They put themselves onto match point, just as Rev is looking to do. We may be in for a double quick night, depending on how the rest of these games play out.
I think it's a good time to discuss Game 3. Right. The Veigar better not make it past draft.
Dear God, no.
I think the Orin can't make it past draft either.
Either B1 it, or just ban it.
Even though I hate to ban Orin, I think it can't make it past draft.
Yeah, they've They've thrown a lot of things at the table, and just none of it are sticking as answers.
Yeah. It feels like top lane is always in a bad spot when that Ornn is
Dino
available.
has the stolen Nature's Grasp engage ready whenever he damn well pleases, and they're stepping up in this 5-man. Empowered Shock Blast just tickles Denobi as that front line.
They have one tower remaining. They're all circling around it. They want to save it. Then Enchanted
Crystal
Crystal
Arrow coming out, not going to land on anything. Stolen Nature's Grasp coming in, as well as the Call of the Forge. They're just looking to get in.
Greg
Not
Boy
going
is
to
in
Greg Boy.
deep
There's
trouble.
the Dredge line. Brittle Proc looking to get on him. Abscond, Abduct, able to dodge out on that falling star. There is a big Skies Descend, though, and that is damage being created back as Howard's thrown out the autos. It'll do some damage along with Flug Triber, but it is not enough as Madness says, I don't care how you're killing my teammates. I'm a flash and end the game, as that is a 2-0 start here for the side of Rev Armada.
You can see how much damage Miscats were able to do later in the team fights. Like, even though they were down a ton of gold, they were able to, defend. I wouldn't say easily, but like they were able to defend. So I want to see the Miscats clean up their early game. Their early games, they always go a little bit too aggressive. They don't take engages. They don't take fights without information, they take engages in fights without information. So they get ganked. They give up free kills to bot lane. They give free kills to mid lane. They fight dragons without their own numbers. So if they're able to have a little bit more restraint into these objectives and get to the late game where it's more of an even game state, we might see us go into a game 4. But if not, I think it's going to be end of 3, and I think Rev just sweeps and goes home early.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we're in for an early night or if Mystic Cats has what it takes to find an answer in draft and turn things around. All eyes are going to be on Wingman if he gets that vague arc for a third time. But with that, we are going to head to a quick break. When we come back, it'll be game number 3's draft between Mystic Cats Red and Rev Armada.
Look not the sun, why she says, why she shrouds her light away, or why she all too great, for silent falls the guilty sun, as day to dark does turn. One simple truth she dare not speak. Her light can only blind and burn. No mercy for the guilty. Bring down their lying sun. Blood so silver black by night, upon their faces pale white. Cruel moon, bring the end. The dawn will never rise again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 3's draft here between Mystic Cats Red and Rev Armada. Mystic Cats back on the blue side, and they did it. They found the secrets to the universe. They have the answers to everything. It is Ban Vagar against Wingman, and they have done so. As Zeri and Lux remain on the ban table for Mystic Cats Red, as Rev Armada sticking with Zareth and Dr. Mundo as their bans. Possibly that Ezreal as well. We'll have to see, but that does mean Rakan, which was banned last game, is left up. The Ezreal once again banned, as Maokai once again the B1 pick for the Mystic.
We'll see where that goes, but we saw that flex last
Please be
last
jungle.
game. So it could be
Please be
jungle, it could be
jungle?
support. You know what I think is gonna happen? I think this Red is gonna actually take Morgana in this game, like B2 or B3, acting like he's going support, and they're gonna flip Maokai to support and Morgana to jungle. But we'll have to see.
Yep, but Armada going back to what worked in game number 1 with the Jarvan and the Ornn, they're not going to risk it being banned out in the second phase. So J4 and Ornn, that's about as solid of engage as you can have in this comp here for the side of Armada.
I mean, we saw in game 1, it's just super clean. It's very easy to play with, And we saw Denobi just do super well in the Ornn, actually gaining a lot of advantage when the Ziggs comes out. Shout out to game 1 where we saw Klug actually do so much damage on the Ziggs. So instead of actually knowing that they're going to play against Veigar, we do have the potential of that mid counter pick. So it could be Wigman to play something super aggressive to try to punish the Ziggs pick. Maybe not,
Definitely possible. A Sivir picked up here from Mr. Cat, so killing that Ziggs flicks instantly. So Ziggs going to be heading mid to Klug, and Sivir locked in for Howard. So good wave clear all around from the side of Mr. Cat right now.
Yeah, and so far, I think the flex for the Maokai still stands. Rev has their pick. They're going to end up picking the Syndra, which I think is always a solid pick.
Definitely a solid pick, but not in the same wheelhouse of that Veigar. Not as strong of late game scaling. Focused more on.
I don't know. That
potential
ultimate does a
lane
lot of
buff.
damage.
It absolutely does. But with Veigar, you can set up your entire team to nuke everybody. With Syndra, you're specifically saying the gameplay button goes on to one person in particular, and they just explode.
The Malphite getting banned from Greg in the top side. Nautilus is getting banned. So we're seeing some champions that were played getting banned. I want to see Armada actually look to target. Actually, I wonder what they ban here. I think it's kind of weird because Denobi's gonna have a decent time top lane. They're just gonna try to make sure that Denobi just doesn't lose this lane, but he's been doing a good job doing that. So I understand their like confusion of what they want to ban.
Yep, and now Garen taken off the board. They're taking all these answers to the top lane away as much as possible.
I'm pretty sure they're like, what do we ban here at this point?
Like, what's annoying to play into Ornn? Garen. Let's get rid of that.
Rakan? Yep.
Rakan also taken off the board by the Mystic Cats.
I definitely had a feeling that was going to be gone,
yeah.
But our 4 pick.
As much as possible.
Our 4 pick would probably see the ADC. Support counter is so much better. Especially because you don't know if the Maokai is going to support or not. So I imagine we might just see possibly a Lucian pick here. We can see the Varus, but I don't think we're going to see the Varus. We're actually going to see the support pick.
Interesting, going blinding on that support, so leaving Madness up to whatever he wants to do later.
Okay. Now I got to rant about something. Why do you leave the counter to your AD carry when the bot lane is always dictated by the supports?
Hear me out. Syndra AD carry. But meanwhile, it is the Urgot locked in for Greg Boy up top side.
This comp does have a lot of damage on this Gets.
It absolutely does. But
there's also a lot of tanking.
It is very squishy.
Yeah. Rev is playing like they would have drafted a lot of CC. And they've been doing that every game.
They have exactly done that.
A lot of engage,
every
a lot of
member
CC.
on Rev right now has CC.
The Vi pick, so that
Trundle. So it is going to be that Maokai going down to No Not November once again. Trundle locked in, trying to make Ornn just a bit easier to deal with, taking away all those resistances. And Pillar being a good, useful tool. Meanwhile, Rev, last picking, likely that 80 carry.
Yep. So they see the Leona, and the Maokai is actually pretty solid to it. So, not a bad pick here. I like the Trundle pick a lot, mostly because it's so easy to play especially in the jungle, clearing your jungle camps, playing team fights, because all you have to do is really ult the tankiest member, and that tankiest member is a frontline that just immediately gets melted by your backline. So the Draven coming out. So
Draven locked in there for Madness can be a bit annoying trying to deal with the Trundle slow and Pillar to get up to speed and just hit people as much as you can. But definitely looking to take advantage in lane. Draven Leona is about as kill lane as you can possibly get.
That is one dangerous lane. Even if there's times where I would be playing bot lane and we would get 3 early kills, but Draven with those spinning axes and like a half of an item will do like 1/4 of your health with an auto. It is absurd. And then when you put Leona with it,
a lot.
They can just lock down one person and pretty much kill them.
Oh, absolutely. There's just about nobody that can live when they're CC'd and just burst it out.
Yep. But definitely different look to the Mistcats Red comp, because we see the Urgot, we see the Trundle coming out, and I think that's a little bit easier to play, especially because we know that Sword of Destiny isn't a jungle main, they're a support main, and they picked the Rel, and with these last few patches, it's extremely hard to actually play that Rel in the jungle, and we saw it happen in Game 2, where they didn't really make a meaningful impact for 95% of the game because they're so far behind. They're waiting to catch up. They didn't get the gold to get the items. But with Trundle, it's a little bit easier to play. It's a little bit easier to clear your minions. So I think they will have a better time on it this time around.
Absolutely will. A bit more stable of that jungle clear, and Pillar provides so much gank potential. Onto the less mobile champions. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do much to an Ornn no matter what you're doing with a Trundle until you get that level 6 Subjugate and you're able to take away those resistances. But a Pillar onto Syndra early is a death sentence.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially because you have a Ziggs as well, because that slow is crazy. If there's no flash on either Draven or Syndra, that Mega Inferno Bomb is going to land straight dead on and will do half of their health at least. Plus, you have the follow-up by the Maokai. You have the Urgot Execution if they want to snipe. You have the Sivir. What's the ultimate called? On the Hunt? No.
Let me think.
It's not On the Hunt.
I think it's On the Hunt, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, On the Hunt. Definitely.
Oh, okay. Well, I was right. That's also a Hearthstone card, I think. So I was like, am I thinking about Hearthstone? But like,
wait a second, something's not right here.
Yeah. So they have a lot of way to like force and engage. So I do like Mistcats' comp this time around. I was very hesitant last game, but this one's a little bit easier to play around. They just need to make sure they don't end early game.
So you're a bigger fan of what Mistcats did this time in terms of draft. Is it enough for you to take them in this victory for game number 3?
It's already a win that they banned Veigar, so.
Do you think they have what it takes here to bring us to a game number 4? Or do you think Rev's going to ride the Draven power train to an early night 3-0 victory?
The problem I have with the Mistcats is that their shot calling has been all over the place. Not just, last game, but game 1. They go a little bit too aggressive when it just creates opportunity for Dean to pretty much punish these lanes. Not only that, is game 1 they made a forceful Baron call that pretty much handed the game over to Rev. So they need to know when and when they can't take opportunities to fight for objectives or just take objectives.
Definitely do. It'll be interesting to see if they've been able to put what they need together, if they've found solutions. And obviously, banning out that Veigar was really imminent. And we'll have to see if it's enough. And I'm hoping that Mistcats' coach gave them some pretty good advice. Speaking of coaches, if you're looking for a coach, BOL Season 10 is sponsored by CoachFi.gg. CoachFi is a new platform for esports coaches with 0 commissions. Sign up is completely free and anyone can create a public profile. For more information, type !CoachFi in the chat. Head on over, and a big thanks to them for making BOL possible.
Yeah, on top of that, if you do have a CoachFi profile, you could be entered in for a giveaway of a slice of a $250 prize pool. So, it's free to enter. All you have to do is have a profile. There's going to be no more information announced, but I will say that I do have a CoachFi profile, and I do coach TFT. So I will use all that money towards BOL. If I ever got people to get coaching from me and they paid me money for it, I would put that towards BOL to make this a better experience.
Absolutely. And Bully, we can't thank you enough for everything you've done here at BOL. None of this would be possible without you. But we are finishing up the in-client draft here. We're going to head to a spectator delay. When we come back, it's going to be game number 3 of the night between Mistcats and Rev Armada. Mistcats fighting for their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into possibly our final matchup of the day, as Mystic Cats currently down 0-2 in this series, once again on the blue side, taking on Rev Armada on the red side. Currently, though, Mystic Cats 5-stacking this bush here, thinking that maybe the side of Rev is going for that.
I have a gripe to talk about.
Hit me.
So, 2 patches ago, Doran's items were buffed, right?
Indeed.
Greg Boy has decided to go call again. And I hate it here.
Don't question it, just accept it.
Because Doran's item, like, there is a meta where the junglers actually took Doran's items first back because it's very gold efficient at this point. So, not taking it against this lane I feel like kind of gave him a disadvantage when he was playing Jace top against Ornn. And now is taking the call to make it a farming battle yet again against an Ornn.
Yep, we'll have to see exactly what comes out of it.
Oh, we see the 999, baby.
999.
It's back.
Right now, everybody's back to farming. We saw Klug have a very strong advantage early in game 1 as he was on the Ziggs. We'll have to see what he's able to do now against Wingman on this Syndra. A bit more of a lane aggressive pick.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be harder for Klug to safely farm against Syndra because of the Scatter of the Weak. But look what's going to happen in this bot side. I think it's going to be a level 2 immediate fight right after this minion right now. There it is.
There's the level 2. Batch stepping up. No Zenith Blade going to land. Knocks him back with the Bramble Smash, and they're able to peel off the bot side.
Yep.
So
Oh,
they're
I'm surprised
surviving
Batch
the
is
scariest
getting...
position right now, which is when Batch and Madness on this Draven Leona have a level 2.
I'm actually surprised Bash didn't immediately flash on Not November right there.
I was fully expecting that to be a flash Zenith Blade in for a Shield of Daybreak, and Madness to just try and murder.
Alright, that could have just been a flash, and it would have been easy. But, like, you know, they could have punished it. Maybe they just didn't feel like they wanted to burn flash there. But I assume Batch has better flash, aka Hex Flash. So that's just an easy trade.
In with the Shield of Daybreak, though, knocked under tower. Both supports flashing, and as you mentioned, there is better flash, but if Greg Boy with that Purge active, the Pillar of Ice comes out onto Denobi.
Denobi's gonna flash late, and he might just die for it.
The chomp, and there is first blood going over to Greg Boy, but it is traded back. Flag drag, though, on from Dino, not going to be able to knock anybody out.
Yeah, that is going to be a trade. But honestly, if Denobi flashed there, I'm pretty sure Sword of Destiny would have died for free instead of having to, instead of Denobi actually using the Bell's Breath.
And right now, though, 3 of the 4 sums of this Mystic Cats bot side are now gone. Vulnerable again to this Jarvan, who's gone for the invade and likely just going to wrap back around and try and get on to Howler and Not November and try and get Madness this early Adoration cash.
Yep, Sword of Destiny needs to know that their bot lane is probably going to be invaded, but look what's happening.
Wingman's on his way too.
Yeah, this is going to be a dead Maokai and...
They're both dead here. There's the flag drag, double knock up. Draven using that blood rush to get closer. Wingman in the area. Scatter the Weak not going to land onto anything, but Not is low. The Shield of Daybreak stuns him out. Madness throwing out the stacks.
Bastard's going to die here, though.
Adoration, my dear friend. Madness, 2 kills on this Draven.
That was super close to being a 2 for 2, but yeah, you're right. Madness gets the kills. That could have played a little bit more clean. I think Bachelor kind of went for the Zenith Blade a little bit too early. But still, a trade kill back. It goes on the Sivers, so it's not the worst in the world. They do get a plate mid. But they again, pushed way too far up. They did not have any vision, as you can see in the bot side. It's completely dark, and they get punished once again.
The biggest thing there is Madness having that exhaust available meant Howard couldn't trade the damage back as easily. Meant that was going to be the numbers advantage coming the way for Rev Armada.
Yep. But the 2 kills on the Madness makes this lane so lethal. So if you're Howard and no, not November, you're sitting under your turret and CSing.
Sword of Destiny here, though. There's the Pillar of Ice, the slow onto Nanobi. But he's just going to walk it out. Disdain not going to land the flip onto Nanobi.
Yeah, I mean, Denobi still has the flash, so they should know that they didn't get it on the first gank. So no reason to actually go for another kill for that when they don't need to.
No reason to, is right now. Everybody's back to farming. 2-0 on the Straven means Madness has picked up the serrated Dirk early. Means those spinning axes are going to hit even harder.
Yep. And Howard keeps pushing up a little bit too far. They could get easily caught out here. Even like Madness does have flash, so they could look
able
just
to dodge out on
continue to
that
play.
flag drag thanks to that
Oh, here we go.
use of the satchel charge.
But Klug in the mid lane doesn't have TP, has no mana, so they need to make sure they can take a good reset. As we do see Dean just hovering around this mid lane. They have 2 assists from that gank bot side, so this game definitely has been. Oh,
Dennis Blade, they're landing onto No Knock. It's the stun off of the Shield of Daybreak. Going to try and kite it back out. The Blood Rush means Madness is going to be able to chase.
wait, Howard, I want to go back. They have a
He's
Dirk.
coming back up, throws out that stand aside. Flag drag not going to land on anything. Heal though comes out of Howard.
Yeah, it's dangerous to trade back right there, especially with Madness having that straight Dirk. They get a little bit of trade, but they do have to use the heal to make sure that No Knot doesn't die right there.
Knock up there off the Searing Charge, gets the Brittle Clock. Disdain does not flip over. The Purge getting some damage out. Conqueror has been sacked. Nothing going to come out of this trail.
Yep. Some vision's gonna get cleared in the bot side. Madness is still like dangerously low, but this could easily be a bait as Dean might just wrap around, and he's doing so right now. But Sword of Destiny is in the area.
Dean just wants the Skull Crab, the Sword of Destiny look, and it's going to be a smite fight. Goes the way of Dino, but not in Howard here. Forces Dean to flash away. Scuttle for flash. I think you take that if you're the Mystic Cats.
Yeah, Sword of Destiny is actually a level behind Dean right now, which is crazy because Dean has been spam ganking bot lane continuously.
Yeah, but despite that, Dean up 10 CS in this matchup. Really good to be in. Despite that, things still relatively close. There's a stun coming out of Batch.
Oh!
And dodges out on that Mega Inferno Bomb.
Yeah, I think this bot lane was primed for a dive this entire time. Sword of Destiny could have wrapped around, went to the tri-bush, and actually just looked for the kill onto Madness. Would have been a shutdown, but I think they're playing a little bit too safe when the bot lane was just so low.
But with that, that does force the bot side of Rev back, which means this first dragon is going to be going over to the Mystic Cats, uncontested.
Yep, Madness being that low, look at the CS difference now. Madness could not step up anymore, and they just lost CS after CS, and now we have Howard actually have a 14 CS lead. And I think we saw this. Oh no. Denobi has the 2 key items against an Urgot. He does pick up the Bramble. He does pick up the Warden's Mail. It's gonna be so unfortunate if you're an Urgot trying to attack this Orc.
Because once you activate the Purge, you're not doing as much damage, and you're gonna be hitting yourself.
Yep. The Rift Herald is on the menu for Rev right now as they will start it. Bot lane. It's only Madness right now, so we haven't seen Miskat's able to punish a solo Madness significantly, but we did see it once. We saw where they were able to push out Madness using the Nautilus and basically going between lanes, but Madness did trade back.
He's in a bit of trouble, forced to flash away from that Scout of the Week with Batch in the area.
Huh. I'm surprised they didn't use the satchel charge first.
Right now, Howard focusing on getting this tower, getting some plates into his pocket with Madness down there on his own.
Yeah, it looks like they won't actually get the plate, so that's unfortunate. So with Madness being on their own for the bot lanes for that long, nothing was actually accomplished here for Miscats.
And he still gets the wave, so nothing really lost by Madness, while Batch uses his pressure to secure the first Herald for the side of Rev.
Yeah, there is a level difference. No, Not November does have level 6, while Bash does not. So if there's any time to actually take a fight, this is it. And Miss Cats won't pull the trigger because they're scared of what can happen, even though they have the river actually warded.
The Scat of the Week dodged out by Klug as he's just trying to poke away, making good on this range advantage of the Ziggs.
Yep. It looks like they're extremely scared of how much damage Madness could do, which is, oh.
Especially with Dean now in the area.
And Wingman actually gets out, almost dies. They're actually about 100 HP, so we didn't see the fight in the mid lane, but they took a ton of damage.
Madness stepping up, and Dean still in the area. Howard and playing it very dangerous around the Zenith laser. Meanwhile, Greg flip off the Dane, and he's just tickling Denobi right now. Meanwhile, Dino drops the Herald as they're looking to take more of these.
Oh, you're stepping up way too far, Howard.
Flag drag into him, Cataclysm on top of 2, Madness with lethal tempo stack. There's the whirling death. He dashes in even more adoration. Sword of Destiny forced to flash away after popping that subjugate to live.
Howard just baited their team into that fight. You can't step up right there. You have it warded. You know that you're in range of getting jumped on. And yes, you have the spell shield, but you're forced to flash. You're supposed to heal, and now you just makes it a 3v2 in the bot side. The Rift Herald was used to get a couple more plates, so that's putting even more kills.
He now wants
money
to steal away this
pocket.
red buff season. Sword of Destiny really low.
Oh,
but
wait.
Klug is here, and he's going to pump out some damage. There's a satchel charge. Oh. The bouncing bomb and the finishing auto. That's Klug picking up a kill.
It was a good rope, knowing that's being started. A little bit over-aggressive play by Dean. They didn't have a lot of health left, and they definitely did not have the roam timer for mid laner. So just a little bit more gold pick up by Klug.
Tell me if you've heard this story before. Rev Armada is ahead, but Klug is doing pretty damn well for himself.
I heard it game 1. He's definitely doing very well on the Ziggs. He's gonna have the Leandries done soon. But look who's in the mid lane. The Scatter Week does miss, so I think he should be fine.
Bouncing bomb lands.
Wait,
Batch.
Klug didn't look at his map.
Looking to contest.
Wait,
there's the satchel charge. Throw out the autos, and he just explodes. And he just explodes.
Klug just dunked
just laughs at
Wingman in mid lane, and
you can try and kill me, but where's your mid laner?
So Klug actually went aggressive on the play. A lot of people would go, they'll jump the other way and kind of get out safe. Klug saw the opportunity. They didn't even need the ultimate as they landed the bouncing bomb and the explosive mines. So it was just a kill going over to Klug. Klug has about 2,100 gold in their pocket right now that they go spend. They'll get a lot of items. They'll get the Sork shoes and they'll get the finished Leandries, and they're just going to become a menace once again on the Ziggs.
Again, it's going to be on Klug to try and get themselves ahead and take the lead for his team. He's picked up that Leandries, as you mentioned.
On the bright
so
side,
important for burning through these big front lines of Denobi, of Dean, and of Batch.
On the bright side, Howard is actually fairly strong on this server right now. With 1 kill, has a small CS advantage. Yes, Madness is extremely strong, but he's the main threat that they have to worry about. And one main threat is very easy to deal with if you have enough people jump on him.
Now the dragon is being started up by the side of Armada. They're just pulling it out, and they have complete control of this river. Nothing really going to come out of it.
Klug is going to do so much damage to Wingman right there.
There's the on the hunt. Nothing comes out. The steal on the dragon comes out by Sword of Destiny. And you got to think that's the call to retreat. As there's the call to fork gun over the top. That is not November.
Oh!
That is Greg. And that is even more. The Whirling Death picks up Sword of Destiny. Howard and Klug are the last member standing. The Satchel Charge tries to buy space, but Howard is taken down by the brittle auto of Denobi. Klug has seen his team fall once again.
Yeah, they got the steal, but their team was scattered. Klug did pick up a kill in that. Oh, Denobi.
He's looking to go to Denobi. He's chunking him down. Scatter the Week knocks him back,
Wingman.
forces out the flash and Wingman.
Leandries
The
No.
flash bouncing bomb, not enough. Klug a bit over aggressive there.
Yeah, Klug definitely thought he's gonna get the kill right there, but that team fight was super scattered. It felt like half the team wanted to retreat, half the team wanted to fight, and that spelled the death of them as it just did not work out properly. Klug was able to do so much damage. Greg Boy was not able to get the Fear Beyond Death out as they are still extremely weak. But now we're sitting at Madness 5-0, was not able to get targeted in that fight, and they're sitting on a fat shutdown. If Madness goes down early in any fight, Miscats have a great opportunity of capitalizing by taking down the rest of the team members and taking down whatever objective is on the map.
Madness 5-0-2, working towards that Trinity Force now. He's gonna hurt with those whirling axes, no matter who he hits.
No, not November is playing super aggressive when they didn't know if Wingman had the Unleash Power available. So the heal was actually burned by Howard to make sure that not November didn't die right there for free.
Harold once again the call here for the side of Armada. Harold has been the name of Rev's game this entire series. Sort of Destiny. Flag drag comes in though, and there's Luke trying to help out with the damage. Cataclysm into the back line. And there is the Mega Inferno Bomb over the top trip. There's his engage though, coming out from that call. The Forge got Denobi soloing out the one carry left standing, and there's more money rolling in for the Draven as the adoration is rolling.
And I hate to say it's Klug blowing the flash earlier to try to just like get a hope kill onto Wingman, spell the death in probably that team fight because he wasn't able to get away from a lot of CC.
Stepping up, stand aside. No longer has the spinning axes though.
Whoa!
Uses the whirling death, trying to step on another with the flash in. Bramble smash back. Howard trying to get autos out, able to get a big shutdown. A 1-for-1 trade, but that is totally worth it. 1,000 gold shutdown onto Howard.
Yeah, honestly, if that was more in sync between Howard and November, Howard would survive right there. But in the end, that is 1,000 gold going in the pocket of an 80 carry. So a lot of gold swinging back to way of Howard, who was a little bit behind of the entire game. Not of Madness. Madness is very ahead of everyone.
Madness is extremely ahead. Has that Trinity Force finish, has the finished collector. BF sword in his pocket.
He has 3.1k more than Howard in this game.
This is just going to be the tower like
first turret going down right here.
Yeah, using the satchel charge, gets the tower kill. Gets themselves first tower of the game. But that is also Herald drop mid. They're looking for more.
Oh,
hold on.
Look at Dean in the back
drag
line.
onto Klug. Pops that Gorger for some extra damage, but the knockback off the Bramble Smash just disengage. Meanwhile, bot side, Wingman picks up the tower of his own.
Yeah, but in the end, the Mezcats pick up 2 towers in the mid lane. Dragon is coming up. This is where I want to make sure Mezcats doesn't make the same mistake that they always do in Game 1 and Game 2, is to take a bad fight for this objective. If they need to give up this Dragon, they should. Obviously, right now, Rev is going to be centering around this Dragon, getting vision, getting control of this pit, and they need to make sure their flashless Sivir and flashless Ziggs doesn't get immediately jumped on by both Nobi and Dean.
Dean has been doing a great job of locking people down with this Cataclysm. We'll have to see what else comes out of it.
Yep. Greg does have the Black Cleaver completed, so all this armor from Denobi should be a little bit easier to break through. But right now, Madness and Bachelor are getting that priority mid, and there's a lot of things you want to get full priority. Oh, they're just going to give up the Dragon.
Get onto Denobi, knocked up there from the Searing Charge. Riddle also procs, not yet, as he's knocked back by the Bramble Smash.
Yeah, honestly, Denobi almost has 2 full items. He has actually 2 full items and a component, but he got the component pretty
uncontested there. There's the flip though, not November. Knocked into the tower. He's going to try and keep chasing.
Oh my
He's
god.
taking the tower, and Denobi in a 1v3 comes out on top with a kill.
You're making that super aggressive play against somebody that has the Frozen Fist, somebody that has the Bramble Vest, and now has the Randuins.
Your Sivir is built for wave clear right now. You're not going to be doing too much damage with those boomerangs, as you're entirely focused on being able to clear the wave. Meanwhile, Klug getting a bit of damage.
Oh, Klug is dead.
Flash away. Is able to get under the tower for now.
Wow.
Uses his bombs to zone out. Batch tried to use a Hex Flash in his face. Didn't get anything out of it.
I'm surprised Batch just didn't use the Soul Flare. It's very easy. It's a very long range ability. Even if the slow hits, that's a kill. Like, it doesn't need to be the full stun. So, Mistcats looking a lot better this
again,
game. Oh,
using the Bramble Smash. He's back on to Madness, and he is able to chunk it
Oh,
out,
but
but
Klug is
the
dead.
whirling
Oh,
death,
Klug's
not able to
alive.
do anything.
Klug is dead.
Flash in with the spinning axe means Madness picks a kill.
And
He's
now
looking
no,
for
not
more, though.
November is
He's
dead.
in, though, with the twisted advance.
Wait.
The Bramble Smash with alongside that proc of the Aftershock. Not trades it back. Not before Madness picks up a kill of his own.
Yeah, I mean, they got the 1-for-1, but no, not got the kill, and on Madness, and Madness got the kill onto Klug. So, in the top side, Greg is gonna be doing a little bit of damage to that top side tower, but down almost 50 CS to the Orc.
Madness already has 3 items completed on this stream. He can.
That's what
melt
happens when you have
whoever he'd like.
11.5k gold already.
Yeah, that's. Oh boy.
And it's not like Trinity Forces is a cheap item.
No, it is
It's
not.
pretty goddamn expensive.
And he is just in such a strong position to continue carrying this game.
Yeah. The next dragon is going to be up in about 3 minutes, but they can't deal with Denobi. The way they need to play team fights is basically they need to make sure Klug is able to poke out the Rev team. They can't just immediately get engaged on. They can't engage just randomly. They just want to slowly play out these team fights and play front to back.
That's really important for the side of Mystic Cats. Using the range advantage that Sivir's ricochets and Klug's bouncing bombs bring to the table. That's what they're going to have to do.
Yep. On the bright side,
Greg picking up this tower. He is knocked up there by the Searing Charge, so the Brittle Auto is dashed away from Bacall. The Forge Gun coming over the top. Badge, though, is caught by Sword of Destiny. The pillar is going to lock him in place, and the lethal tempo is stacked. He flashes away, but it's just pointless. He's taken down. Dino also goes in, forced to flash away. That's 1-for-0 going the way of the Mystic Cats.
yeah, they're able to take the kill onto Bachelor, but
Greg knocked up there,
used.
trying to use this
Actually,
purge to dish out the damage. He is just going to try and run away, though. The slow off the Randuins is so detrimental. But Klug just throwing out these bombs and chunking Wingman.
that kill onto Bachelor was actually used 4 ultimates. So,
Jeez.
a lot used, but it won't get punished, which is a good thing. But Dragon is coming up 125, and you would imagine that the Mistcats should set up for this in a position where they can poke out the red team.
You need to be to
instead of-
this river early.
yeah.
You need control
Exactly.
of the area to use that poke. Right now, they're trying to get down. They're trying to collapse onto Denobi. You're never going to kill Denobi.
Yeah. Definitely not without Subjugate. Subjugate is needed. Udish is actually up now. But your Sivir has 1.5 items right now. It doesn't have enough damage to actually break through that Ornn, even with the Subjugate on top of him. Howard definitely needs LDR as a 3rd item, or they're just not going to do any damage this game.
Yeah. And that's a tough position to be in. Dean grabs a spot from there, getting vision control set up in this river. Good wards right there for the side of Mystic Cats right now, but Dean stepping up and just clearing it away. But he may be in a bit of trouble. He's being poked out a bit, and this is what we wanted to see out of the Mystic Cats. Use your poke. Get to the river early.
Yeah. Honestly, in this game, I kind of wish Howard just skipped the Shiv and just went for like a Kraken Slayer and Kraken Slayer, LDR, and whatever that 3rd item is.
Howard just stepping right into Dean's face. Cataclysm on top of him, though. Flashing by Sword of Destiny. There's the stun over the top. Call the Forge Gun. Howard is just evaporated by Wingman. And their Sword of Destiny being melted by these spinning axes of madness. And he is ripping them apart. Double scat of the week over the top. And Klug is peeled away from by Not, who sacrifices his life.
Wait, press R again.
Greg gets the flip. Able to take him down. He's just trying to walk away. Still has the Purge active. Denobi trying to chase him down, though. That's 3 for 2 going the way of Red.
Yeah. In that fight, I think Sword of Destiny just really wanted to get that kill and use the Subjugate on a target that's going to already die. So the subjugate was used to Dino, but Dino was caught out at that point, and eventually it just resulted in Miscats just getting wiped because of the overstay. And they just didn't have anything else after that.
Definitely the case. And to give everybody an update, congratulations to TD Daggers locking themselves into the next round, taking a 3-0 victory over Ape Gaming. That means our only game currently going on right now is Revolution Armada taking on Mystic Cats Red, who are also looking to pick a 3-0 victory. But Mystic Cats don't want to go out without a fight.
Yep. Miscats are down a little bit less than 5k gold, but they do have the tools to make a team fight a little bit better. The Navari Quick Blaze is complete on Sivir, so they do have the 2 items, but that is against Madness, who is working on that 4th item, almost completed with the LDR. So a lot of damage by Madness. If Madness doesn't die in the team fight's always winnable for Rev.
Madness is that damage threat. He can melt through anybody as they please. Klug in a bit of danger.
Klug is...
Flag Drag catches him, but Dean's alone in the Cataclysm. Buys time with the stopwatch. That is Dean that falls and flashed away by Klug, who gets out to safety, has the Seraphs to buy him time. The flip by Greg and Batch is being melted, but Madness is stepping
Oh wait, Madness is dead!
He's low! He steps into the bomb zone.
Oh no!
Forced to run away. Greg, though, being chunked out. Kenobi is frontlining like a monster, but he's flipped again, and that's a big shutdown going over, and Sivir Howard.
Oh, don't go too aggressive right here.
But he goes too far. Here goes Madness, so he's taken down by the bouncing bombs of Klug.
Wait, Bachelor's dead.
Once again, frontman. Wingman gets the scatter lead back onto Greg and buys himself some space. That's a team fight win now, going the way of the Mystic Cats.
Yep, and that was a massive stopwatch. The stopwatch did keep Klug alive, and a lot of gold going back to Miscats. Now it's going down to a 4k lead. Unfortunately, Wingman doesn't die right there, and Bachelor didn't die. That was super close to being an ace for the Miscats.
Yep, and Klug, knowing how important that stopwatch was to him, instantly backs and says, this thing's broken, I'm buying lasagnas now, and he has it online. So the stopwatch, once again available in case he gets caught in those team fights.
Yep, and this is going to be a big fight for this next dragon. Actually, I wonder if everyone's going to go back to the Baron pit, which is highly possible. But this next dragon is definitely going to be, again, a point of contention once it comes up.
Both these mid laners down, bot, TPs available if a fight were to break out around the Baron pit. Sword of Destiny going in deep, has vision, but is spotted out.
Yep, and a big thing to note, Greg is actually extremely strong right now, has 5 kills. So this Urgot has 2.5 items, almost done with the Jack shows, so will start becoming kind of like a mega bruiser. And TP is actually going to be used.
Coming in there from Wingman, Call the Forge Gun lands on to not. Batch is flipped over by the disdain of Greg.
Oh, Batch is going to be dead right here.
Beyond death, pulled in. Big Fear only onto one though.
But Madness is able to
free firing in
right
this Cataclysm. It's a firing range for the Draven. But bot side though, Klug is pushing away. Decided not to TP, not to match. That does mean the fight goes the way of Rev. 3 for 2, but Klug is pushing away and trying to get something back.
I'm actually surprised that Rev just didn't opt to just go for the Baron, just take it off the map. Yes, they might lose an inhibitor for it, but
Madness, I would not recommend chasing this. You are already half health.
I think Madness wants to fight because they do have the Bloodthirster, so one auto will heal them for like their entire health bar. So
good old Bloodthirster Draven.
Yeah, but even without Klug right there in that team fight, Miscats were able to pull out a 2 for 3. They got engaged on, but in the end, the gold lead is pretty much the same. It's about 4k. But General Genobi, level 16. The ornaments have come out already. Got the Eye of the Luden, the Frozen Fists once again, and the Infinity Force. Yep.
Online here. More damage, more kills, more threat for the side of Armada.
More power.
More power as their scaling continues to grow. Dragon coming online in 5 seconds. This would put both teams to soul point if they were to pick
Oh,
it up.
TP
But it
to the
looks
Baron.
like the TP to Baron is coming in. The side of Mystic Cat says, we're just going to trade this. But it seems like
Rev
Rev
actually
has
calls-
an idea what's
Oh,
going
this is
on.
gonna be a
They're
major team
walking over. And in comes the World and Death, and they're forced off of it. That means the TP from Klug is burned for nothing. As now Rev is here, and they're saying, okay, you're off it. And nothing
Oh,
came out of
Wingman's
it.
going to take a
Gather
ton of
Week
damage
lands
right
there
here.
onto Klug. Nothing coming out of it, though.
Yep. Yeah, and now Rev has the advantage as they have the inside track to the mid lane tier 2 and
Mystic
the
Cats
Dragon.
is back on the Baron? Call the force by coming over the
not
top,
again.
throws out the Nature's Grass to counter engage. Knock up there coming out from Denobi as Greg Boyce is trying to frontline. Flag drag onto 2, catches onto Sivir in the backline. Madness takes down 1.
Madness is still
but there's
alive,
a big
but-
fear beyond death on the 2. Greg Boy is still frontlining, has that disdain shield, able to trade it back, but that's Madness picking up another. 2 for 2 is the trade, but that is Klug and not traded for Dean and Batch.
Yep, Madness survives, but on the flip side, Howard, Sword of Destiny, and Greg Boy still survive. Close team fight. I'm surprised Miscats actually started that Baron yet again, because they're just going to get armor shred. They're going to take a little bit more damage at the beginning of team fight. The third dragon, or I would say the fifth dragon, is going to go over to Rev. But we see how close these team fights are, even with the gold deficit that Miscats have. Now, in about 700 gold, Klug is going to get that death cap, and that death cap can do wonders in any major team fight.
It really can, but speaking of item spikes, Madness now picking up that Immortal Shield Bow. 5 items. He is now full build on this Raven. Not going to really be getting any stronger so long as he keeps his boots online. But he's hitting like a truck with the spinning axes.
I'm gonna say it. I don't like the shield bow by. You need LDR. You're playing against 3 tanks basically.
It's a good thing he has LDR. Oh, you're
No, I'm
talking
talking
for
about Howard.
You're talking about for Howard.
about
I
Howard.
completely agree.
Yeah. Oh, I guess Madness does have a shield bow as well.
Yeah, Madness is who
But
I was
yeah,
talking about.
I'm talking
picking
about
up that
Howard.
shield bow.
Madness is actually gonna get as strong as they pretty much gonna get.
Yep.
But Howard is opting to get the shield bow for some sustain. But honestly, what's the sustain about when you can't do damage against these mega tanks?
Yeah, right now, all of the kill pressure on Denobi is here for Klug. He's the one looking at it. And maybe Greg, if he can get a good flip with the disdain, shred him down into a fear beyond death. That's what you're looking at.
Yep. And we are back once again at that Baron, trying to get some kind of positioning towards it. Klug is getting the mid lane pushed up as, you know, as Ziggs, they're able to safely pretty much push the wave without being a real threat. As they say that, they get caught by the scat.
Klug forced the flash
Scout
away.
of the week.
Denobi gets the slow, uses that satchel charge to get away. Pillar of Ice, though, interrupts the charge. And that is the go sign for the side of Rev. They're looking to turn onto this Baron, realizing that the strongest member of Mystic Cats cannot necessarily be there. He is forced to back, and this Baron is being shredded by Madness.
Yep, and that's gonna be no contest. That's our. I guess they're gonna late contest this, as are they actually gonna?
Coming in, Nature's Grass comes from McCall. The Forge got over the top into this choke point, gets a knock up onto 2. There's the Searing Charge to knock up off that Volcanic Rupture, and they are just melting Sword of Destiny down. Madness is mad with power. The shield bow will buy you no extra time as Howard falls in the Cataclysm. Denobi tries to go into the Searing Charge. Dino goes under tower, is taken down by Greg Boy. Klug trying to throw these bombs out, buy some space for his team, looking to continue the chase down. Madness so looking to step up and throw these axes out.
At that point, you know that the Baron was going to be started, and you're late to contest. Why even walk up in the jungle? You're just going to get caught out, and that's exactly what happened. Sword of Destiny, Howard both get caught in their own blue side jungle. The subjugate was not used at all. On the hunt was not used at all. You just are dead at that point. There's a lot of return damage done, but now the revved up Baron team, or the Baroned up Rev team, I guess either works, are just going to march in. Klug is now completed with the death cap, so they're gonna do a ton of damage, but they are so far behind. Madness is 16-3, and if you don't kill Madness, the team fight's over.
Like, you need the perfect engage onto Madness there. You need not to find the proper side angle of the Nature's Grasp to lock him down, a pillar to cut him off, and then maybe you can kill him? Even then, I'm not certain.
Yeah. This gold lead right now shows 7k, but in reality, it's a lot more because of the extra ornaments that is provided in gold value. So it's pretty much about 12k at this point.
Oh, yeah, it's a massive gold lead right now. Armada looking to close this out, send themselves to the next round where they face off against CB Queensguard if they're able to pick up the victory.
Yep, and you know, if there's anyone to beat CB, is definitely Rev, because they did beat him a couple weeks ago.
Call the Forge God coming in over the top, and they are able to get the knockup there. Not able to follow up though. Flag is
Oh,
there.
the TP in the bot lane, they're looking for a base race, and I don't think this is actually good for you. I don't think you base race this team.
Flag drag from Bachelor, not able to take it, and that is just all of Mystic Cats being shredded to pieces by Madness. Greg Boy's the last man standing here. The flip is there onto Dino, and he is just melted by these whirling axes. Klug is taken down as well, and that is game. That is set, and that is match, my dear friend. Rev Armada, clean 3-0.
I'm all in the favor of base race, but it's not like you're Yorick. You're a Ziggs, for crying out loud. You have so much wave clear. Your team needs you to try to dissuade the enemy team from actually entering your base. And you TP to the side lane, you get inhibitor, sure, but at what cost? It's your Nexus. You lose the match, but I think it was a great attempt by Miscats. I think this third game was a lot better than game 2. I think
absolutely agree.
I think Greg Boy played a lot better than the past 2 games, but in the end, I feel like they weren't cohesive, and a lot of that comes down to the point where Miscats were using 2 subs, and they had to kind of shift their roster around.
Yeah, I would have loved to see what this looked like if Mystic Cats had the full force, if they had Pedestrian and had Nate here to play. But they made do with what they had. Greg Boy and No Not November stepped up. They tried to contribute. They did well in the situation that was given to them. Props go to them. They had a great season all around. Some high ups, some low downs. In the end, it does come to an end here. Sad to see them go, but well played all around by the side of Mystic Cats. Big shout out, in my opinion, has to go to Klug. He stepped up, swapping the mid lane this game, well, this series, and he played really damn well all around, especially on the 6.
Yep, I know Rev hated playing against There's no way. They kept on running the bombs, and they're like, this champion sucks to play against. But in the end, Rev's just rotation around the map, their ability to take advantage of any mistakes that Miscats did throughout the whole match were capitalized on, and we see that in all 3 games.
Rev just playing really well all together as a team. Denobi with this Ornn. There just seemed to be no answers to it by the side of Mystic Cats. It was too much to shut down. Wingman, not as impactful on the Syndra as he was on the Veigar, but that's not saying much because his Veigar was massive, and Madness on this Draven just took over the game.
I'm just going to say it. I think we should have banned the Ornn here.
Fair enough.
I think it gave them a little bit too much engage. That I don't think they realized that they couldn't deal with it, but they couldn't deal with it.
But Denobi became this immonstrable front line that was unstoppable. Yeah. Triple of those armor items between the Frozen Fist, the Randuins, and the Thornmill. Also has the Anathemas to lock down Klug and make sure he's not able to take as much damage there. And with this static Shiv, the static Shiv shield bow build of Howard, nobody could touch Denobi.
I mean, yeah, I kind of said it. Static Shiv, I know it's built on Silver, but in this game, you have to go forego a couple items because you're playing against Ornn, Jarvan, and Leona. And I think the Kraken first, you go to Kraken first, you could get the Noon Quiver, and then you have to go LDR. If you don't do those, you're not going to do any damage to these frontline tanks. And we kind of see it. Yes, they did 23k damage, but they were in a position to do a lot more damage as they ended up getting a massive shutdown against the Draven, but they kind of fell off, and the only damage dealer really became the Ziggs. Greg Boy started doing a lot more, but he kind of he did a lot, but he got melted by the Draven. The Draven ended up being 20-3. So there has to be some kind of adaptation throughout the game where you can't just be fixated on a build because it worked for you in the game before. When you see this many tanks, you got to know it's like, okay, I need to make sure that I'm not going to be able to hit like the Draven or the Syndra. I'm going to be hitting these tanks. I need to build to kill these tanks or get them off me so I can actually do to win the team fights for my team.
Absolutely, and with all that put together, Rev Armada 3-0 tonight. Very clean games all around, moving themselves on to the next round. Congratulations go to Rev Armada as well as TD Daggers, picking up the victories tonight, moving themselves on to the semi-finals. That does mean we have seen the last this season of Mystic Cats, of Ape Gaming. Thanks both of them for coming out and putting in some great efforts, giving us some great games all around. But next week, next Thursday, we're going to have two phenomenal matchups. The number 1 seed, CB Queensguard, looking to avenge their only loss as they take on the number 4 seed, Rev Armada, who we saw in action here tonight. And on the other side of the bracket, in the other semifinal matchups, the 2 seed faces off against the 3 seed as Subatomic Gaming Charm takes on TD Daggers in a matchup that'll be sure to be fun to watch. 4 teams, all competing for these titles, all have strong parts of the map, all can contest. It'll be interesting to see what comes out on top and who's able to win when it matters most.
Yep, and I can't wait for it. I guess I might be on the cast, maybe not. We'll see.
Yep, we'll have to see what comes out of that. I believe that is all we have here tonight. Bully, thank you for joining me as usual. Shoutouts go out to behind the scenes Pop Tart. None of this would happen without her. Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you Rev Armada and Mystic Cats Red for giving us a hell of a series to watch out. Normally we'd be back with Diamond on the weekend on Saturday, but because it's Halloween weekend, not going to be happening there. We will be back here with BOL Platinum on Tuesday the 31st, I believe. Unless, actually, that's Halloween. We probably won't be.
No, it's Halloween. So
Yeah,
BOL
so
Platinum is delayed 1 week, and so is Diamond. Diamond's delayed to the 4th. Yep. So no more action for the rest of the week. The next action you will see is actually going to be Wednesday.
All right, so we will be back here Wednesday with BOL Gold as they continue into their playoffs. Thank you, everybody, for coming out here. It's been a pleasure having all of you. Hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you once again to Coachify for being the sponsor of BOL this season. Congratulations, Rev Armada. Congratulations, TD Daggers. Have a good night, everybody.
My side, no matter what we do, together we'll see it through. And I hope